I came to TVG, I remember like around the year 2000. One of their first features they did was called the Arizona Experiment, and it was following me around for literally 2.5 weeks. And the folks at TVG liked it, and as time went on, they asked if I wanted to come to work for them, and I said yes. My favorite bet is the pick 5. We've been so focused on the pick 4 for many, many years. The introduction of the pick 5 with the low takeout and the 50-cent denomination, I think, is very attractive to play in the races. You put it in comparison with the pick 6, you know, it's only one race more you got to pick, but a $2 base minimum wager, that's 4 times what it costs to play the pick 5. So with the low takeout, you get higher returns and the great base wages. So I love the pick 5. My favorite angle is I really like to play turf races. I always look for horses that are making the transition onto the grass for the first time, who previously maybe had horrible dirt form. So I look for hidden pedigrees, and I look for horses that really are going to adapt to the grass for the first time.
What up, Giants and Jets fans? Welcome to Week 5 of the NFL season. You're watching More Ways to Win. Welcome in. I'm your host, Lisa Kerney, getting you ready for all the NFL action this week. I'm joined by our team of sports betting experts. These guys are here to help you make some money. So download the FanDuel Sportsbook app, place your bets with their advice. Throughout this show, use the promo code MOREWAYS1000 to get your risk-free bet up to $1,000. So let's make that money. It's easy, legal, and live right now. I'm here for it. Let's party. We're kicking things off in the NFC East. We've got the Giants on the road at Dallas this week. New York, your G-men are literally driving this struggle bus. 0-4, averaging less than 12 points per game. It's the lowest average in the league, guys. Andrew Filipponi, the Giants are getting 9.5 in this matchup. Can they score enough to cover this line?
No, they haven't scored a touchdown in the last 2 weeks, and I don't see that trend changing enough to cover this big spread. Look, Dallas had a problem defensively with the run last week. Cleveland stacked up over 300 rushing yards. Well, the problem with this matchup, Dave, is that the Giants don't have a running back to take advantage of that weak spot on the Dallas defensive side of the ball. So for that reason, I anticipate a big Dak Prescott performance, and the Cowboys will easily cover at home.
Well, they haven't scored a touchdown the last 2 weeks. Lucky for them, they get to play the Cowboys this week. Who are they? Dallas Cowboys, the 1-3 Cowboys, who, by the way, should be 0-4, to be favored by 9.5 against anybody. The Giants are 14-3 on the road their last 17 games in covering. This is way too big of a line, way too much respect for the Cowboys. Give me the points.
All right, great points, guys. We'll get right back to you for more on this matchup, but right now we want to get the right take for this. We get out to Chicago and bring in our NFL expert, Cole Wright, with Marquis Sports Network, formerly of the NFL Network. Cole, you heard the guys' picks. Giants on the road, getting nearly double digits here. Which team do you have winning, and by how many points?
Well, one thing we do know is the Giants are not really good at playing tackle football these days. And the Dallas Cowboys, well, they've owned the G-men in this series. They've won the last 6 contests in a row, and all signs point to the Giants to continue to struggle. We talked about that struggle bus. Well, the offense, it's dead last overall. And Daniel Jones, he's shown little improvement. 5 picks, just a pair of touchdowns, not going to get it done. But on the flip side, the Dallas defense is almost as bad as that New York offense. So thank goodness for Dak Prescott. Dak, he's tossed for over 450 yards in the last 3 games, and that's a first in NFL history. So I think you could pencil Dallas in for a win in this one. They'll look like a dude riding a skateboard drinking Ocean Spray cranberry juice. I think 41-14, that's how this one's shaking out.
Not pretty. But hey, Giants fans, you can bet with your heart here. If you roll with your guys and take the Giants and the points here, a winning $50 wager is going to get you about $96. It's the FanDuel Sportsbook app. Of course, use that promo code MOREWAYS1000 as well. All right, now to the Jets, who host the Cardinals at MetLife Stadium on Sunday. New York dropped to 0-4. Backup quarterback Joe Flacco, he's making the start in place of Sam Darnold. The Jets are a mess, guys. Darnold out because of that shoulder injury. Of course, he suffered in Thursday night's loss to the Broncos. Right now, the Jets are getting 7 against Arizona. Dave Weaver, which side do you like?
This line seems a little bit high to me. I thought it'd be maybe 3.5 or 4. Maybe it's because Darnold's out, but I'm okay with Flacco getting in there. Here's what I know. The Cardinals are 1-3 against the spread as a road favorite going back to 2017. And since 2015, they're 0-4 against the spread in the second part of a back-to-back that involves non-conference road games. So they've done okay with San Francisco, Seattle, et cetera, staying on the West Coast. But 2 East Coast games back-to-back is going to be a difficult thing. This is not an easy spot for them, although it seems like when you play the Jets. And even though Cole gave me no love there, picking the Cowboys over my Giants, I'm going to give him some love because if you're a diehard and you watch the show from the beginning, he called it. He said Joe Flacco is going to put the clipboard down and he'd come in and save the Jets. Here it is, week number 5. Cole's got the crystal ball.
Dave, that's what you become, a guy that kisses everybody's butt on this show. That's a first from you. I am going to take the Jets here, just like you, but I'm not going to praise you up and down when I take New York. It's because Arizona's defense right now is unforgivably bad. I mean, they went to Carolina, they gave up over 400 yards, and they let the Panthers convert 8 of 12 first downs. And hey, Dave, your guy, you praised him before on this program, Le'Veon Bell, goes back in for the Jets, and he's the perfect guy for all those stinking dunks from Joe Flacco. So I do think New York will cover the 7 points.
Look at all this love we're just kind of throwing around here in week 5, guys. Jets fans, if you take the points and bet on your team here, you're going to collect more than $96 on a winning $50 wager. And, of course, we're just getting started here on our week 5 breakdowns. In about 10 minutes, we're talking prime time. Yes, we're going to Sunday night and Monday night matchups, getting our guys' picks on both of those big spreads right now. We're going to get into that again in just about 10 minutes. Of course, and the guy that sets all the lines here at the FanDuel Sportsbook, joining us right now, the odds maker himself, Mr. John Sheeran, of course, has a lot of exclusive information into the betting market. Sheeran, I'm going to tap into that right now. Are there any betting trends this week that have you rethinking a specific line, a spread that you're worried most about?
I think there's 2, Lisa, not really on betting trends, but more the kind of look and feel of them. I think the Pittsburgh Steelers are definitely one. 7-point favorites at home. We are juiced at -115 on the -7. It feels like a big number when you look at it on paper, but I think coming off the 3-0 record that the Steelers have, albeit against relatively weak opposition, the key here is the bye in week 4. Obviously, they had the Titan game postponed, and I think giving them an extended amount of time to prepare for this game is really important. The Eagles obviously had a tough trip out to San Francisco and had to travel back from the West Coast. They were 8.5-point dogs in that game in San Francisco. I think winning that game was more to do with bad Nick Mullins play rather than really good Eagle play. So we're really wary about the Steelers here, and we're looking to attract as much money as we can on the Eagles. I think the matchup is very good for Pittsburgh as well. We know that Philly have a banged-up offensive line. We saw Lane Johnson miss big portions of the game in San Francisco, and that's a really tough matchup against that tough defensive unit that the Pittsburgh Steelers have. The other one is almost a little bit weird for us to be wary of, but the Ravens given 12.5, Lisa, to the Bengals. That's one that we're really wary of as well. Again, it looks a really good matchup for Baltimore. The Bengal rush defense, we spoke about it last week. We saw what Robinson was able to do for the Jags. We expect the Baltimore defense to be able to get a hell of a lot more pressure on Joe Burrow than that Jaguar pass rush did. I think it's going to make it really difficult for him. I look back to the game 1 of this matchup last year. Saw Lamar Jackson rush for 152 yards. He went for 8 yards in an attempt. And I think we'll see a very similar game script this week. Really wary about laying the Ravens. Even at 12.5, we know Lamar missed practice yesterday, but we fully expect him to play. There's only about 0.5 point in that spread baked in for Lamar to potentially miss it. We expect it to go back the other way once he's confirmed to play, Lisa.
That is a massive line, Sharon. Appreciate the insight. We're going to talk to you again in just a little bit. Thanks. Jets and Giants fans, you can watch all of the games at the FanDuel Sportsbook at the Meadowlands. It is the place to be. It's located right across the parking lot from MetLife Stadium. Of course, you can't be there at the stadium, so head to the FanDuel Sportsbook and take your friends and family with you. Hang with us. Dozens of TVs, table service, food and drink, of course, live sports betting on all your favorite teams and players as well. Mask up, keep your distance, and kick it with us at the FanDuel Sportsbook at the Meadowlands. Be sure to check the website for hours of operation so you can get in on all the action. We look forward to welcoming you there. We thank you for hanging with us here on More Ways to Win. And it is time right now to put some math to our money now and get the analytics answer from our numbers guy, Ed Egros, joining us from Dallas here. Ed, what lines need to be exposed this week? Where are you taking us?
Lisa, I know I can't go wrong talking about the Chiefs in your eyes. So how about we look at Las Vegas and Kansas City? Total at 56.5. And we really need to appreciate Pat Mahomes' greatness, but perhaps in a different way. This season, Mahomes' average depth of target is only 6.9 yards. Not only does that rank 25th in football, that's the shallowest for any season of his pro career. He is still accurate, though. 76% of his passes are deemed catchable. So he's not beating teams airing it out. He's keeping things largely in front of him. You know who else does that? Derrick Carr. His average depth of target is 6.6 yards. That ranks 29th out of 33 qualifying quarterbacks. But he is also quite accurate, coming in second highest on target throws. Short throws can mean chewing up more clock. Both teams rank in the middle of the pack in situation-neutral pace. And oh, by the way, this is a division game. Those games seem to be a little bit lower scoring. So I'm going to take the under here.
I'm going to tell you, Ed, and the reason why I'm going to do that is because I think Kansas City kind of goes through the motions against these teams that they know they're going to beat. We've seen it. We saw it last Monday against New England. We saw it against the Chargers. And so I don't think that the Chiefs, their expected point total, I don't think they'll hit it in this game, and that's why I'm going to take the under with you.
Yeah, makes sense to me. Another bet that I think has some good value, the aforementioned Cincinnati Bengals getting 12.5 against those vaunted Baltimore Ravens. How has Joe Burrow looked through 4 weeks of his NFL career? Well, let's take a look at some of the more stable quarterback metrics. Completion percentage from a clean pocket. Burrow is 14th best at 76.3%. It's not a great line in front of him, but Burrow can move. He's 13th in rushing yards by a quarterback with 75 yards and a score. Completion percentage over expected. That's another stable metric. Burrow is 15th there at 4.4. He's also 10th in intended air yards per throw at 8.8 yards. These numbers mean, compared with other quarterbacks, he's average. But for a rookie to be average, A, that's sensational, and B, that spread is way too big. I have this more of an 11-point win for the Ravens, so I'm going to say the Bengals cover.
I'm going to tell you, too, here, I love everything about this. I think John Sheeran thinks that Jeff Driscoll and no A.J. Green like 2018. This is a new and improved Cincinnati Bengals. That is way too many points in this divisional matchup. I'm telling you.
Yeah, Bengals team that's getting nearly 2 touchdowns here, guys. If you're rolling with our guys, you think Joe Burrow and Cincy can cover, do your thing. A winning $50 bet on the Bengals collects more than $95 on that wager. Remember, download the FanDuel Sportsbook app right now to check out all the Week 5 lines available right now. All right, New Jersey, you know how we roll. You're a part of the family, and we take care of our family and friends here. So this is we've got your back kind of segment here. A special fist bump for those of you that are new to sports betting. We appreciate you, and we're excited to have you with us. Dave, we've talked about spreads, money line bets, total wagers as well. Now let's break those down, really inform our bettors and give them your best bet for each here in Week 5. What you got?
Well, let's start with a spread bet, and that is simply, will a team win by enough points to cover the spread? Let's go to the Saints. I think the Saints are really going to take care of the Chargers on Monday night. The spread, though, is 8.5 points, so they need to win by 9. I think they'll do that easily. This is the time of the year where Sean Payton has his team really rolling. So I'm going to lay the 8.5, the spread, and hope that they win by 9 or more. Now let's talk about a money line bet. That means you just need to win the game. There is no spread attached. It's win or lose. And I'm going to go to the Pittsburgh Steelers off of a impromptu bye week. I think they come in fresh. The Eagles' offensive line really banged up in here. So I think the Steelers are going to win. But you have to lay a little bit of juice there. So you see that minus 335. That means you're betting $335 to win $100. Now we'll talk about the total, and we're going to go to the Rams and Washington. This is going to be a low-scoring affair to me. So 44.5 points combined. I needed to stay under that. So, 21-20 is going to be okay, or 44-0. Either way, I think it's going to be a low-scoring affair. So I need less than 44.5 points to win.
Awesome, Dave. You always nail it. Thank you. There you go, New Jersey. Plenty of spread, money line, and total bets available right now on the FanDuel Sportsbook app and on the FanDuel Sportsbook website as well. A ton of parlay bets, props, alternative lines for those of you who've been at this a little while. Everybody's welcome to the party. Check it out online, FanDuel Sportsbook app right now. All right, let's move on now. Time to talk daily fantasy and how you can turn just about $4 into $1 million. Yes, back up the truck. Enter the FanDuel Sunday Million contest right now on FanDuel.com and on the app as well. Our job, of course, is to help you win all of that money. So let's do that right now. We're hooking you up with the best value plays for your lineup. FanDuel Editor-in-Chief, JJ Zacharyson, joining us now with his best values here in Week 5.
One of my favorite values this week is Marquis Hollywood Brown of the Baltimore Ravens. Look, a big game for Hollywood Brown is coming. It's coming soon. He has a 26.5% target share on the season. He's top 7 in air yards across the league. I know this is a run-heavy team, but because of that high target share, he's still seeing decent volume. Now he gets a plus matchup this week. I like Brown at the $6,100 price tag, and hopefully this is the week that he finally blows up. I also like Mike Davis. It's hard not to love Mike Davis at $6,800. He's been a top 10 running back over the last 2 weeks without Christian McCaffrey. He's going to face an Atlanta defense this week that's been below average against running backs in terms of adjusted fantasy points against. There's a big over-under in this game too, so there should be a lot of scoring. So Davis, to me, is a really safe and good option. And then finally, there's Kareem Hunt. Look, there's no Nick Chubb in this game, and Kareem Hunt this season has scored double-digit fantasy points in every single outing with Nick Chubb. Now, without Nick Chubb, he should be the featured back in this offense. Given the fact that he's only $7,000, he's a big value here in Week 5.
That's what we're looking for, JJ. Thank you for those value plays. Now make sure to use JJ's information for a shot at winning $1 million. You can do it right now in the Sunday Million contest on FanDuel.com. It's only about $4 to enter. There's a prize pool of more than $2.5 million this week. It's FanDuel.com and on the FanDuel app. Moving on here on the show, and there's even more money to be had, guys. The Sunday Million is just one of many daily fantasy games offered at FanDuel.com and on the FanDuel app. There are also a bunch of free DFS contests that you can enter right now. Just log on, FanDuel.com, download the FanDuel app, sign up for your chance to win cash and prizes for free with our daily contests available each and every week. Back to sports betting now, and one of the coolest and most exclusive features on the FanDuel Sportsbook app is building a parlay bet of wagers offered for one single game. It's called the Same Game Parlay. You can dramatically increase your payout on your bet. That's how this works. You stack it all up and watch the numbers go. And FanDuel Sportsbook is the only sportsbook offering this great feature for NFL wagers. Gotta get my guys in here. This means bettors can combine multiple bets from one game, and FanDuel's hooking it up too, giving all customers one risk-free same-game parlay bet up to $10 each week of the season. So let's get creative here, guys. Give me a same-game parlay bet that you like for this week. And Dave, I'm coming to you first. What you got?
Mine's pretty simple. It's basically the Saints are going to score a lot and Chargers are going to score a little, same game parlay. So I need the Saints, which is the home team in this Monday night matchup, to score 31 points or more. And I need the Chargers to essentially lay an egg, which I think they will, and score less than 20. If I can get that done, I'm getting almost 2.5 to 1 on my money.
Dave, I'm going to dedicate this pick to you. I like the Falcons over, and I like the -2, and I like the game to go over. You've abandoned ship on them. I like them in this spot at home against Carolina, needing a win. Atlanta averages more points per game than Carolina. They average more total yards. They're still one of the best offenses in the NFL, and they love to give up points late. That's why I'm going to tag the over into this parlay. Same game parlay. I'm all on the Atlanta Falcons, just like you, Dave.
The Los Angeles Rams are due for some serious positive regression to the mean after a really lackluster performance offensively against the Giants. They have no qualms playing on the East Coast for a 1 p.m. kickoff and against Washington. They may have a couple of health concerns defensively. I think the Rams are going to win by at least 14 points, and I have the over for the third quarter points at 9.5, where both teams make some necessary halftime adjustments. The payout for both things is plus 304.
Yeah, Pony last week is accusing Dave of having America's great love affair with the Falcons, and now Pony goes to the dance and steals Dave's girl. I actually love how this is playing out. Stay tuned for more drama, guys. Awesome stuff as always. You can tail one of our guys, or you at home can build your own same-game parlay in the FanDuel Sportsbook app right now and take advantage of a risk-free $10 bet right now. Just click on the game you like, hit the same game parlay tab, and just watch your odds increase. Again, the FanDuel Sportsbook is the only sportsbook offering this great feature for these NFL games. So enjoy playing with us. Time now to talk primetime. We're starting with the Sunday night matchup. Vikings at the Seahawks. Seattle giving 7. The total 57.5 points. It's the highest one of the week, guys. Pony, I'm coming right back to you. What's your pick for this game?
I think there's a lot of value in Minnesota here, Lisa, because they have the kind of formula. They've got the personnel to keep Russell Wilson on the sideline. If you look at the last game for Seattle, Miami outrushed them and averaged like 5 yards per carry. And with Dalvin Cook, look at those numbers, 11 rushing touchdowns in his last 8 games. I think they at least keep it close and make it a game. Take the Vikings +7.
All right, Vikings +7 for Pony. Cole, got to get you back in here for this. You heard Pony's pick. Which team do you have winning on Sunday night, and by how many points?
Well, Lisa, some people worry about hurricanes and tornadoes, but there's no need to worry about Russell Wilson taking on the Minnesota Vikings because his record, well, it's near flawless. He's 3-0 taking on Mike Zimmer, but he's 5-0 career versus Minnesota. And you take a look at what he's been able to do so far this year passing the football, 16 passing touchdowns. That leads the league. And with the way DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, and Chris Carson have played the last few weeks, never mind the fact that Minnesota, they're riding a wave of momentum after getting Bill O'Brien fired over that win over Houston. I see Seattle going on to their first 5-0 start in team history. The Seahawks, they win easily in this one, 27-13. Sorry, Pony. That's what I think, man.
All right, laying that touchdown on Sunday night. Thank you, Cole. We'll talk to you again in a bit. Time now to get to Monday night. We've got the Chargers at the Saints. How about this rookie quarterback in Justin Herbert, right? Joined Cam Newton as the only quarterbacks to throw for 900 yards in their first 3 games since 1970. Herbert and the Chargers getting 8.5 points in New Orleans. They're on the road, Dave. Who do you like here in this spot?
Yeah, I think that streak comes to an end because the Saints defense is going to show up in this game. I love researching stats, and this is the one that just was crazy to me. Sean Payton, we knew this before the year started. They take a few weeks to get going, but Sean Payton in October, or the Saints in October, their last 18 games, they have covered every single one of them. That you don't see 18-0 against the spread ever. So this means he has his team always rolling at this time of year. And then on top of that, the Chargers just are not good in this Monday night environment. I think the Saints absolutely roll here.
I love it. I just am writing all of these notes down, Dave, because I, like you, love stats. That is crazy in October. Ed, Dave decided whether to tail or fade you earlier in the show. It is your chance now to pay him back and return this favor, if you will. Which side are you taking here? Those stats are nuts.
Well, you tailed me earlier, so I'm going to tail Dave here. The thing about this game that I think we're not talking about enough is that the Chargers' run offense is absolutely brutal. It is the worst in football. In fact, their rush EPA is negative .317 with a success rate of 30.6%, both in the bottom 4 in football. Austin Eckler did leave Sunday's game early with a hamstring injury, but this rush offense has stalled with him. Saints defense, 9th best rush D in terms of EPA at .131. And while the success rate is 18th at 43%, you don't have to worry about the Chargers getting some big runs. I think the Saints cover easily.
Great stuff, guys. I got to get to John Sheeran now. Coming back to you for your exclusive insight on all of these matchups and the hottest bets right now at the FanDuel Sportsbook. Which game's taking the most action for Week 5? Which team?
I think there's 2, Lisa, that everybody's honing in on. The first one is Seahawks. Seahawks have been incredible this season offensively. The line is at a touchdown against the Vikings. The Vikings defense much worse than we all expected. Huge bias towards Seattle. About 7-1 right now. That line was available at 2.5 when we opened it up, Lisa, obviously a few months ago, and we've seen which way both of those teams have gone since, leading it to being up to 7 now. That hasn't put anybody off. And the other one I would offer is the Rams at Washington. all of the money, almost a 9-to-1 ratio for the Rams. That line's actually ticked down a little, Lisa, down to 7.5 now, having been 9.5 when we opened it. So they're definitely the two hot ones right now.
Awesome. Great perspective, Sharon. Thank you. Now to a couple of young quarterbacks here and who will not be on the field likely this week. So let's get to our Pro Football Doc here and talking about the Jets, Sam Darnold. We got the Broncos, Drew Lock, also likely to miss his Week 5 start. Pro Football Doc David Chow has more on their injuries and will they'll likely be headed back onto the field. What you got, Doc?
Sam Darnold injured his right throwing shoulder in the Thursday night game when he was dumped on the shoulder. He went into the locker room and likely had a pain-killing injection from the team physician and was able to return and finish the game. His shoulder seemed strong, but his accuracy perhaps was a little bit off. He could play this week, but the Jets brass are likely trying to protect the young quarterback in terms of not being able to practice all week long and not forcing him to play through the pain. He'll be back shortly. Drew Lock should be back this week after a couple weeks off. The rotator cuff contusion and sprain likely affected his throwing strength and accuracy. Similar injury to Josh Allen, but Josh Allen has played through because it's his non-throwing shoulder. Drew Lock, after a week of limited practice and a few weeks off, should be good to go this week against the Patriots, assuming that there is a game.
Okay. Let's check back in with our NFL analyst, Cole, right now and give some underdogs a little love here, Cole. Of course, betting on an underdog to win outright is a great way to get a big payout on your bet. So let's get some moneyline moneymakers, Cole. Who's on upset alert for you this week?
You know, I think I'm going to have to put Kyle Shanahan and the San Francisco 49ers on alert. The Miami Dolphins, I know that they only have one win so far this season, but it's all about that Fitz magic. And what Ryan Fitzpatrick is able to do with this squad, I think, guys, they really just rally around him. And San Francisco, it's a top 5 unit, but you can throw all those numbers out of the window. That's one of the wild and wacky things about this upset pick right here is I'm going to see the Miami Dolphins going on and getting a win. 17-14, it's a close shave. But they go out and get this W here, Lisa.
On the road, nonetheless. Plus 340 there for Cole's bet. Time now to turn this party up. Don't have a FanDuel Sportsbook account. Now is your moment. New users get a risk-free bet up to $1,000. Just download the FanDuel Sportsbook app right now. Sign up for your new account using the promo code you've seen on your screen this whole show. More ways, 1,000. If your first bet doesn't hit, it is all good. FanDuel's got your back. FanDuel will refund you up to $1,000 in site credit. There it is. Promo code More Ways 1,000. So let's get this party going here. Dave, Pony, Ed, you have up to $1,000 to place on a risk-free bet. So let's make our viewers some money here now. Dave, you first. What you got?
Well, my membership lapsed, but you'll be happy to know I renewed my annual dues and I'm now back in the Baker Mayfield fan club. Yes, Pony. I'm going to bet all my money on the Cleveland Browns. $1,000 all in. The wrong team's favored here anyways. They're a slight underdog. They win this game.
Well, I don't think John Sheeran's adjusted yet to Kyle Allen starting in Washington. That's one of my abiding principles. Fade a horrible quarterback who's lost his last 7. So I'm going to parlay the Rams to cover with another fade. My anti-Bill O'Brien take. Romeo Crennel stepping in. Houston will rally. Take the Texans and the Rams to cover. Parlay at plus 264. A nice little risk-free $1,000 bet there.
Dave, I love your Cleveland Browns pick. I think it is an amazing pick. Great job there. I am doing the same thing. In fact, I'm going with an alternate spread for the Browns. I think they win this game by at least a touchdown. So my $1,000 risk-free bet's going to score me $3,500.
Awesome. Gamblers, make sure to sign up right now for a FanDuel Sportsbook account to place your bet. Place their bets. Take their advice. That's why we're here. Remember, use that promo code MoreWays1000. Get your risk-free bet up to $1,000. Easy, legal, live. Take your winnings if you hit and just get your money right back if you don't. It's all coming back to you in site credit so you can do this whole thing again. Thank you guys for joining us and hanging with us today. Thanks for watching FanDuel Sportsbook's More Ways to Win. Take our experts' tips and make yourself some cash. Download the FanDuel Sportsbook app. It's free, easy, it's legal, and live. live. We've got extra love for those new users. Make sure when you sign up for your account, you plug in that promo code MOREWAYS1000. Want to make sure you get your risk-free bet up to $1,000. Follow us on Twitter as well, at MoreWaysToWinTV and at Lisa Kerney. We're hooking you up all week long with extra information. Enjoy the games. Good luck with your bets.
TVG Friday. Turf Stakes action featuring fillies and mares in the Grade 3 Buffalo Trace, Franklin County from Keeneland. Gate-to-wire coverage brought to you by WinStar Farm. Watch and wager Friday, 5 Eastern, 2 Pacific.
Hey, neighbor, we got to talk.
Well, Jay? No, he only comes to Bugle on race days.
Race days?
With the TVG app, every day is race day. You can place bets right in your phone, even stream live races.
Top-notch runners facing off.
I can have a day at the track whenever I want, right at home.
Coming through, guys.
Go get him, Mike.
Mike Smith?
Yeah, Mike Smith.
There's a new home of horse racing. Yours. Get a 50% bonus on your first deposit up to $250.
Nobody does football like FanDuel Sportsbook. It's a Thursday night showdown in Chicago. Get an exclusive odds boost on either team to win. Bet every snap of every game and get your winnings in as little as 24 hours. There's always more ways to win on FanDuel Sportsbook. New users get exclusive 25-1 odds on Chicago or Tampa Bay. Bet $5 to win $125.
TVG Saturday. 3-year-olds and up go a mile and 1/8 in the Grade 2 Hagyard Fayette from Keeneland. Brought to you by WinStar Farm. Watch and wager Saturday. Keeneland, 4:30 Eastern, 1:30 Pacific.
What up, Steelers and Eagles fans, and welcome to Week 5 of the NFL season. You're watching More Ways to Win. Thanks for hanging with us today. I'm your host, Lisa Kerney, getting you ready for all the action here this week. I'm joined by our team of sports betting experts. As always, these guys are, of course, here to help you make money. So download the FanDuel Sportsbook app, place your bets with their advice throughout this show. Use the promo code MOREWAYS1000 to get your risk-free bet up to $1,000. Make sure to plug that in. So let's make that money easy, legal, and live right now. They're ready, I'm ready, you're ready, and we are kicking things off with the battle for Pennsylvania. Big news this week, guys. 5,500 fans will be allowed in attendance at Heinz Field when the Steelers host the Eagles on Sunday. Pittsburgh is 3-0, coming off an unplanned bye week when they were supposed to face the Titans for Philly. Of course, that all got changed. The Eagles coming off their first win of the season here. They are in first place in the NFC East, guys. Funny to say that. The Steelers are a big 7-point favorite in this matchup. Andrew Filipponi, talk to your people here. You are the radio voice there in Pittsburgh. What you got for your peeps?
Well, I've talked to Steelers players this week, Lisa, and I think they're still irritated and peeved off over what happened with this impromptu bye. And honestly, I don't like it. I don't like the kind of complaining and whining I've heard from Steelers players feeling like they got jobbed by the NFL and that the Titans should have either been A, made to play that game, or B, should forfeit the game to the Steelers. Believe me, they are very divided over that and still, I think, stuck in the past over that. This was not a restful bye week for the Steelers, and for that reason, Dave, I think they'll win, but I think they've been thrown out of their rhythm. And I think the Eagles will hang around and make it a game into the fourth quarter. I think it's a good idea because of where the Steelers' heads are at to take Philly +7.
I'm not sold on that. You know, I think they're still fresh. The Eagles are the ones who could have used a bye week. Their offensive line is just so depleted. I think the Steelers are going to get a ton of pressure here on Carson Wentz. And, you know, maybe despite them whining to you, they're going to feed off of that and take it out on the Philadelphia Eagles. So I'm going to go ahead and lay the 7.
All right, let's see what Cole Wright thinks. Let's get to Cole Wright for the right take. This is when we get out to Chicago. Bring in our NFL expert here. Cole Wright, of course, with Marquis Sports Network, formerly of NFL Network. And Cole, you heard the guys' picks here. Which team do you have winning here in this matchup, and by how many points?
Well, interesting to hear Pony say whining and complaining coming right now from those Pittsburgh Steelers. But I think that emergency bye week combined with an inept Philadelphia offense, well, I think that the Pittsburgh Steelers, they should be all right in this matchup. Now, Philly, we know they haven't done a great job of protecting Carson Wentz. He's been sacked 14 times. And at last look, the Steeler defense, well, they lead the league in sack percentage. TJ Watt, you're going to bull in a china shop, 3.5 sacks for that man. And Wentz, well, he has a banged-up receiver score, Alshon Jeffrey, D. Jackson, J.J. Arcega-Whiteside. Not good for Carson Wentz. So I'd be crazy not to go Pittsburgh to win this one. 28-12, I had the Steelers rolling to victory again.
All right, there you have it. Steelers fans, you can Teo Cole here. If you give the points and bet on Pittsburgh here, a winning $50 bet means you collect over $102. And Eagles fans, if you put your money down on Philly and the points, a winning $50 wager means you collect $90. It's the FanDuel Sportsbook app. Of course, use that promo code. It's on their screen. More ways, 1,000. Eagles fans, you're 1-2-1. You sit atop the division, but not by much here. So let's take a look at the NFC East matchup going down in Dallas here. Cowboys hosting the 0-4 Giants, who are averaging less than 12 points per game. It's the lowest average in the league, guys. Pony, the G-men are getting 9.5 points in Dallas. Can they score enough to cover that line?
No, I don't think they can. Even against this lousy Cowboys defense, I think it's a get-right game for them, actually. And Mike Nolan, they're just beleaguered, bewildered defensive coordinator. This Giants offense is just an embarrassment to football right now. In today's NFL, where it's the highest scoring league through 4 weeks in like the 102-year history of the NFL, for the Giants to just kick field goals the last 2 weeks, Jason Garrett should be embarrassed. This is a homecoming game for him, Dave. And I think guys like Dak Prescott are going to be, and Mike McCarthy, will be even more motivated to really lay it on the former Cowboys coach. And I think Dallas runs away with this one.
You know when the get-right game was? Last week. And they didn't get right. You know why? Because they're not very good. They're 1-3. They should be 0-4. That miracle onside kick they got from the Falcons. So an 0-4 team, in my mind, that is laying almost 10 points. Who are they to be favored by 9.5 against anybody in the NFL? And the Giants actually play better on the road. They're 14-3 against the spread in their last 17. And Daniel Jones's numbers are way higher on the road than they are at home. They're way too many points. Give me the Giants.
It's a lot of points. You're absolutely right. All right, Dave, thank you very much. And great job, guys. Eagles fans, if you want to root against the hated Cowboys and make money doing it, do your thing. A $50 winning bet on the Giants and the points pays out nearly $96. And of course, we're just getting started here on the show and our Week 5 breakdowns here. In about 10 minutes, we are headed to prime time, getting our guys' picks for the Sunday night and Monday night matchups ahead of us. Big spreads right now in those games. We're going to break all that down and get into all of that for you. Of course, the guy that sets all of the lines at the FanDuel Sportsbook joining us now here, the odds maker himself, John Sheeran. Of course, has a lot of exclusive information into the betting markets. We want to tap into that right now. Sheeran, are there any betting trends that have you kind of rethinking a specific line, a spread that you're worried about here as we head into kickoff this weekend?
I think the local game is super interesting, Lisa. The Eagles at Pittsburgh. You look at this number on the face of it and you think it's actually a big number at 7. You think the Eagles can cover off the back of a good win in San Francisco. They do have to travel back. I think that win was more to do with bad Nick Mullins play rather than really good Eagles play. I think the matchup is pretty tough for Philly as well. Their offensive line, as we know, badly banged up against what will be a really strong defensive unit for Pittsburgh. I know Pony said they're not really on it this week, but they've had a bye. They're going to be ready. They're going to be prepared. And this is one where we're really trying to fade the Eagles. We're juiced at -115, -7. I think the other game is the Ravens and the Bengals, Lisa. That's a game where we just feel it's a really bad matchup for Cincy. They've been horrendously bad defending the run. Lamar in game 1 of this matchup last year went for 152 yards at 8 yards a carry and a touchdown. So I see Baltimore running the ball straight between the hashes all day long, going to an easy win. So we're really wary of what is a big number at -12.5.
Okay. Sharon, great perspective. That's just the first of many minutes with you here later in the show. Let's get to our numbers guy now and the analytics answer from Ed Egros. Ed, what lines need to be exposed here this week? What you got?
Well, Lisa, let's talk about the Raiders and the Chiefs, shall we? The total in this game is 56.5, and We really need to appreciate Pat Mahomes if we haven't already. But let's look at his greatness from a different perspective. His average depth of target this season is only 6.9 yards. Not only does that rank 25th in football, it's the shallowest depth of target for any season of his pro career. He's still accurate, though. 76% of his passes are catchable, but he's not beating teams by airing it out. He's largely keeping things in front of him. You know who else does that? Derrick Carr. His average depth of target per throw, 6.6 yards. 29th out of 33 qualifying quarterbacks for him, but he's also accurate, coming in second highest in on-target throws. Short throws can mean chewing up more clock. Both teams rank in the middle of the pack when it comes to situation-neutral pace. And oh yeah, it's a division game. Those games tend to be a little bit tighter, maybe lower scoring. So I'm going to take the under for this total.
And I'm going to tell you in part because I really like that salmon-colored shirt that you've dusted off for today's program. I think the success rate on that thing is about 100%. I really like it. You look fantastic. And I like the under, too. I'm with you on this game. I think Kansas City, for whatever reason, against teams they know they're going to beat now, they've won 11 straight. I think they've kind of sleepwalked through some of these games, and they'll win. But I think their offense will be slow to start this one.
It's because I subscribe to the Pony GQ style. That's why I've got this going. Hey, another bet that I think has some good value here is Cincinnati getting 12.5 against the vaunted Baltimore Ravens. How has Joe Burrow looked through 4 weeks of his NFL career? Well, let's take a look at some of the more stable metrics for quarterbacks, shall we? Completion percentage from a clean pocket. Burrow is 14th best at 76.3%. Not a great line in front of him, but Burrow can move. He's 13th in rushing yards by a quarterback with 75 yards and a score. Completion percentage over expected. That's another stable metric in terms of evaluating quarterbacks. Burrow is 15th there at 4.4. He's also 10th in intended air yards per throw at 8.8 yards. All of these numbers mean that when you look at all the quarterbacks in the NFL right now, Burrow is average, which for a rookie is amazing, but also, too, it means that this line is way too big. I have Baltimore winning this game by 11, which means the Bengals cover.
And despite me going with more of a mauve today, Ed, I'm going to tell you as well. I think the Cincinnati Bengals are getting way too many points here. John Sheeran setting this line based on, Jeff Driscoll and no A.J. Green 2 years ago. This is a different team. This is the 2020 Joe Burrow Bengals. I like the points here.
All right, guys, great points by all of you. Steelers fans, I'm talking straight to you, though, here. If you want to root against the Ravens and make money doing it, here's your chance. A winning $50 bet on the Bengals and the points collects more than $95 on your wager. Remember, download the FanDuel Sportsbook app. Do it right now to check out all of the Week 5 lines available for you right now. It's More Ways 1,000. All right, Pennsylvania, you're a part of the fam. You know how we roll. We take care of our family. We take care of our friends. So this is We've Got Your Back segment, and a special fist bump for those of you that are new to sports betting. We appreciate you. Excited to have you with us. Dave, get in here. Let's talk about these spreads. We've talked about money line bets. We've talked about total wagers as well. So now let's take a moment and break those down, right? Inform our bettors. Give them your best bet for each here in Week 5. Where are your bets?
All right, we'll just do a quick explanation on all these terms. So we'll start with the spread bet, and that is the amount of points that a team needs to win by to cover that spread. I like the Saints a lot this week, but they're an 8.5-point favorite. The spread is 8.5 points, so they need to win the game by 9 for you to cash that ticket. If you play the Chargers and the Chargers lose by 8, you're still going to win. So I'm going to lay the points and cover the spread of 8.5 with the Saints. I think they win by about 20 points. Now let's talk about a money line where there is no spread involved at all. You just need to win the game, and for that, just to be a little more cautious with what Pony said, I'm going to use the Pittsburgh Steelers only to win. So if they win by 1 or if they win by 50, you're going to cash that ticket. But there are money line odds involved. So you have to risk $335 to win 100. That's what the minus 335 means. On the other side, if you like the Eagles, you bet 100 and you win 270. So give me the Steelers to win. And now the total. That is the total amount of points both teams combined. Over under, it's also known as. And I'm going to go under on the Rams-Washington game. I think with the quarterback issues right now Washington's having, put in a new quarterback, banged up receivers, they're not going to score many points. I think the Rams win this game in a low-scoring affair, so I'll take under the 44.5 on the total in that game.
There you go. Great stuff, as always. Ice cold exacta. Thank you, Dave. And there you go, Pennsylvania. Plenty of spread, money line, and total bets available on the FanDuel Sportsbook app right now. They're available for you. Also, a ton of parlays, props, alternate lines for those of you who've been watching and have been at this for quite some time. Check it all out on the FanDuel Sportsbook app right now and use that promo code. And hey, Pennsylvania, if you're making a road trip to New Jersey and you're in the area, you can watch all of the games with us at the FanDuel Sportsbook at the Meadowlands. It's located right across the parking lot from MetLife Stadium. We know you can't be in the stadium, so come enjoy all the games at the Sportsbook with us. Bring your family, bring your friends, dozens of TVs. We've got table service, food, and drink, of course. You can also place your live sports bets along all your favorite teams and players, and you can do it with us. Mask up, keep your distance. Everybody stays safe with us at the FanDuel Sportsbook at the Meadowlands. Be sure to check out the website for hours of operation before you join us, but we want to make sure that you're with us and getting in on all the action. It's where to be on these weekends with all these games. Time now to talk daily fantasy, and let's get right to it and how you can turn about $4 into $1 million. Yes, back up the truck here, everybody. Enter the FanDuel Sunday Million contest on FanDuel.com and on the app right now. Our job, of course, is to help you win that $1 million. So we're hooking you up with the best value plays here in Week 5 for your lineup. FanDuel Editor-in-Chief JJ Zachariason in-house with his best value plays, for this week. Hi, JJ.
One of my favorite values this week is Marquis Hollywood Brown of the Baltimore Ravens. Look, a big game for Hollywood Brown is coming. It's coming soon. He has a 26.5% target share on the season. He's top 7 in air yards across the league. I know this is a run-heavy team, but because of that high target share, he's still seeing decent volume. Now he gets a plus matchup this week. I like Brown at the $6,100 price tag, and hopefully this is the week that he finally blows up. I also like Mike Davis. It's hard not to love Mike Davis at $6,800. He's been a top 10 running back over the last 2 weeks without Christian McCaffrey. He's going to face an Atlanta defense this week that's been below average against running backs in terms of adjusted fantasy points against. There's a big over-under in this game too, so there should be a lot of scoring. So Davis, to me, is a really safe and good option. And then finally, there's Kareem Hunt. Look, there's no Nick Chubb in this game, and Kareem Hunt this season has scored double-digit fantasy points in every single outing with Nick Chubb. Now, without Nick Chubb, he should be the featured back in this offense. Given the fact that he's only $7,000, he's a big value here in Week 5.
No doubt, and that's what we're looking for, JJ, those value plays. Thank you. For all of you, use JJ's information now for a shot at winning $1 million in the Sunday Million contest right now on FanDuel.com. Again, it's only about $4 to enter. There's a prize pool of about $2.5 million in this contest. Go to FanDuel.com and on the app as well. And there's even more money to be had, y'all. Oh, yes, the Sunday Million is just one of many daily fantasy games offered at FanDuel.com and on the FanDuel app. There are also a bunch of free DFS contests you can enter right now. Log on to FanDuel.com or download the FanDuel app. Sign up for your chance to win cash and legit prizes for free with our daily contests, and they are available each and every week. Let's get back to sports betting now. One of the coolest and most exclusive features on the FanDuel Sportsbook app is building a parlay bet of wagers offered for one single game. It's called the Same Game Parlay. You can dramatically increase your payout on your bet by playing this with us. The FanDuel Sportsbook is the only sportsbook offering this great feature for NFL wagers. And guys, this means bettors can combine multiple bets from one game. FanDuel is hooking it up, giving all customers one risk-free same-game parlay bet up to $10 each week of the season. Each and every week, it is Week 5, so let's get creative here, guys. Give me a same-game parlay bet that you like for this week. And Dave, I'm coming right to you. What you got?
Mine's very, very simple. The Saints need to score a lot, and the Chargers need to not score very many points. So I'm taking the home team, the Saints, to score over 30.5, and I'm taking the away team, the Chargers, to score less than 20.5. So something like 35-17 would be an absolute perfect result for me. I'm getting just about 2.5 to 1 on my money.
Dave, I'm disappointed you didn't handicap the Falcons this week. The way you've obsessed over them and loved them all year, and now you're not picking them when they're the obvious play. They've lost 4 games to 2 Super Bowl MVPs and two of the highest paid quarterbacks in the NFL, Russell Wilson and Dak Prescott. Now they get Carolina at home. I'm going to parlay same game, Atlanta -2 and the over in this game, plus 264. It's easy money for Dave's favorite team.
You know, Dave really should have the LA Rams as his favorite team because they're just down the street, but never mind that. LA Rams are doing some serious positive regression to the mean. They had a lackluster performance against the Giants. They have no qualms playing on the East Coast for a 1 p.m. kickoff against Washington with maybe a couple of health concerns defensively. I think the Rams are going to win by at least 14 points and third quarter total points for the game over 9.5 points. I think both coaching staffs will make some necessary halftime adjustments. I'm getting 3-1 on my money.
I love it. Awesome stuff, guys. And you can tail any one of our guys there. Or, hey, just build your own same-game parlay. You can do it right now, the FanDuel Sportsbook. Take advantage of a risk-free $10 same-game parlay bet. Just click on the game that you like, hit the same-game parlay tab, and watch your odds just dramatically increase. Again, the FanDuel Sportsbook is the only sportsbook offering this great feature for these NFL games. Time now to talk prime time. I told you we would get there. We're starting with the Sunday night matchup and the bright lights shining on the Vikings and the Seahawks. Seattle giving 7, and the 57.5 point total is the highest of the week here. Pony, give me your pick for this matchup.
Look at that line. I mean, John Sheeran is just begging for people to bet the Seahawks. He's trying to trick us all into betting Seattle. I'm not going to do it here. I know Russell Wilson has been unbelievable, but I just don't trust that Seattle pass defense. Justin Jefferson has stepped in for Stephon Diggs. Look at these numbers we're about to show here. He's been one of the best rookie wide receivers in the NFL. He can pair with Adam Thielen. We know Minnesota can run the ball. Seattle's defense stinks. They haven't replaced Jadeveon Clowney, and I think Minnesota has what it takes to make this a game and possibly go on the road and pull off the stunner.
All right, Cole, got to get you back in here for this. You heard Pony's pick. Which team do you have winning on Sunday night, and by how many points?
Well, Pony brought up a good point. The Seattle defense, not really good, but the positive thing is that they have Russell Wilson, and we know he's better than good. He's great. That guy, as good as it gets. Now, Minnesota, we know they have a wave of momentum right now. They got Bill O'Brien essentially fired after beating the Houston Texans. However, Mike Zimmer, 0-3 versus Wilson in Seattle, and Russ, 5-0 career versus the Vikings, 16 passing touchdowns. He's leading the league and putting his name in the history books. And DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, Chris Carson. Well, it's been a murderer's row for Seattle the way they played the last few weeks. So you can count on Seattle to move to their first 5-0 start in team history. Hard to believe they've never done that before, but I see them winning this one 27-13.
That offense has got something special cooking up there in Seattle. All right, let's get to Monday night now. We've got Chargers at the Saints. And how about this rookie quarterback, Justin Herbert, coming into his own here, joined Cam Newton as the only quarterbacks to throw for 900 yards in their first 3 games since 1970. Got the Chargers getting 8.5 points in New Orleans. Dave, on the road, getting 8.5. Who do you like in this matchup?
I don't like the Chargers. I think this is a difficult spot for that young quarterback because Sean Payton always has his team ready in the month of October. Before the season started, I kind of knew how it was going to go for the Saints. Going back to 2013, they always struggled covering the spread those first 3 games. And when I pulled up the stat, I knew it was going to be good, but I didn't know it was going to be this good. I looked up how they have done in October of late, going back a few seasons. 18-0 against the spread. Their last 18 games in October. They are just dialed in right now at this time of year. And on top of that, the Chargers are not good. I'm playing on Monday Night Football. So this all adds up to a big Saints win for me.
That is awesome stuff. Great research, Dave. I know another guy that likes numbers. It's Ed. Hey, Ed. Dave decided whether to tail or fade you earlier in the show. Now it's your turn to return the favor here. Which side are you taking in this matchup?
I am returning the tailing here, and the one element to this game that I don't think is going to be talked very much about in this week, really, is that the Chargers have the worst rushing attack in all of the NFL. In non-garbage time, the Chargers' rush EPA is negative .317 with a success rate of 30.6%, both in the bottom 4 of football. Austin Eckler did leave Sunday's game early with a hamstring injury, but even when he plays, this ground game is stalled. Saints have the 9th best rush defense in terms of EPA, negative 0.131. And while the success rate is 18th at 43%, you don't have to worry about LA breaking free for some big runs. Now you're putting the quarterback for the Chargers in a precarious situation. Saints have performed well even without Michael Thomas. I think the Saints win by 12 points, and the Saints cover.
All right, Saints minus 8.5 in this matchup on Monday night. Great stuff, guys. John Sheeran, coming right back to you for some exclusive insight here on the hottest bets that you're taking right now at the sports book. Which teams are getting the most action here in Week 5?
I think the Seahawks, Lisa. Pony touched on it, the concerns around the defense and how banged up they are. The secondary is decimated. It's not stopping the public bet in Seattle. They've been super impressive on the offensive side of the ball. This game and feels a lot like the Dallas game to me, where they managed to cover as well. I don't think that Minnesota are going to be able to stop them. 6-1 in favor of the Seahawks. That line at 7. Just a few short weeks ago, it was as short as 2.5 when we opened it up, Lisa. Shows how both of those teams are trending. The other one is definitely the Rams. The Rams as a 7.5-point favorite against Washington. Again, traveling back to the East Coast, they've shown what they can do already. Yes, they were lackluster, as Ed touched on, against the Giants. That was as high as 9.5, but down to 7.5, 9-to-1 ratio for the Rams. So they're definitely the two most popular ones so far.
All right, Sharon, thank you. Great perspective as always. Appreciate the insight. Now to a couple of young quarterbacks who likely will not be on the field this weekend. The Jets will be without Sam Darnold. The Broncos could likely be without Drew Lock. He could also miss this Week 5 start. So we check in with our pro football doc, David Chow, on more on their injuries and when they'll likely be back on the field. Hi, Doc.
Sam Darnold injured his right throwing shoulder in the Thursday night game when he was dumped on the shoulder. He went into the locker room and likely had a pain-killing injection from the team physician and was able to return and finish the game. His shoulder seemed strong, but his accuracy perhaps was a little bit off. He could play this week, but the Jets brass are likely trying to protect the young quarterback in terms of not being able to practice all week long and not forcing him to play through the pain. He'll be back shortly. Drew Lock should be back this week after a couple weeks off. The rotator cuff contusion and sprain likely affected his throwing strength and accuracy. Similar injury to Josh Allen, but Josh Allen has played through because it's his non-throwing shoulder. Drew Lock, after a week of limited practice and a few weeks off, should be good to go this week against the Patriots, assuming that there is a game.
All right, Doc, thank you. Let's check back in with our NFL analyst, Cole, right now and give some underdogs some love here, Cole. Of course, betting on an underdog means to win outright anyway is a great way to get a great big payout. So let's get some money line moneymakers for you. Cole, who's on upset alert here in Week 5?
All right. Well, everyone in the Bay Area, Lisa, they probably don't want to hear this, but I'm putting the San Francisco 49ers on upset alert because it's all about that Fitz magic right about now. Throw all the numbers out of the window. We know that Miami, they're a bottom third when it comes to total offense. In San Francisco, their defensive unit, they're top 5 overall. In Miami, they have just one win. But like I said, forget about all those numbers. Ryan Fitzpatrick, he's going to have another game that makes everyone say, why isn't this guy a starting quarterback, and why hasn't he done that for his entire career in the National Football League? 17-14, it's a close shave, but the Dolphins, they're getting the win on the road here, Lisa.
There it is, plus 340 there on the road. Thank you, Cole. Time to turn this party up now. Don't have a FanDuel Sportsbook account? Everybody, now is your moment. New users are getting a risk-free bet up to $1,000. Just download the FanDuel Sportsbook app, sign up for a new account using the promo code right there on your screen. More ways 1,000. If your first bet doesn't hit, it is all good. FanDuel will refund you up to $1,000 in site credit. So let's turn this thing up. Let's bring in my guys. Guys, it's time to party. You have $1,000 to place on a risk-free bet. Let's make our viewers some money here, Dave. What you got?
Well, I'm going to go back to Old Faithful. That is Baker Mayfield and the Cleveland Browns. I'm back on the bandwagon, Pony. I'm going to take all my $1,000, bet them as the underdog. I think they should be favored in this game, so I'm going to take that plus 124. My $1,000 will get me back over 2,200.
Forget everybody out there watching, Lisa. I want to make myself some money. I'm looking out for number 1 this week, and that's why I'm going to parlay L.A. and Houston together here. Kyle Allen, are you kidding me? Washington names him the starting quarterback. The guy stinks. He lost his last 7 starts last year, so I'm going to take that with Houston. Look at that risk-free number, plus 264 on those two teams.
I may be the numbers guy around here, but I'm losing track and have lost count on how many favorite teams Dave Weaver has. I am going to take over the Cleveland Browns, man. Yeah, it's half the lead. I'm taking the Cleveland Browns as well, but I'm going to do an alternate spread. I think I win by a touchdown. $1,000 risk-free bet, $3,500.
All right, and Pony, yeah, you've got a baby on the way, so you should look out for number 1. All right, gamblers, make sure sign up for a FanDuel Sportsbook account right now. More Ways 1000 is that promo code. Hey, enjoy Week 5. Thanks for hanging with us. Good luck with your bets.
It's one shot, now the future is yours. Go! War of Will won the Preakness!
Satsas qui s'en va, Satsas qui s'envole, Satsas qui va triompher dans le prix du Jockey Club.
FanDuel Sportsbook makes it easy to parlay bets within the same game. But to make it even easier, we hired Jeopardy champ and pro sports bettor James Holzhauer to help Tim build his same-game parlay.
Okay. I got Philly to win, the QB to throw at least 2 touchdowns, and the over. But how much should I bet?
Let's wager 300.
Who are you talking to?
Bet same-game parlays for even bigger wins, only on FanDuel Sportsbook. Place your first bet risk-free and get up to $1,000 back if you don't win.
Why pay over $100 a month for cable when it's half the cost for Fubo TV? Get all the channels you want with all the entertainment you love for the price that cable can't beat. Try free at FuboTV.com.
What up, Illinois, Indiana, and Michigan? Welcome to the party and welcome to Week 5 of the NFL season. You're watching More Ways to Win. I'm your host, Lisa Kerney, getting you ready for all the NFL action this week. And of course, as always, I'm joined by our team of sports betting experts. These guys are here to help you make money. Download the FanDuel Sportsbook app, place your bets with their advice throughout the show. Use the promo code MOREWAYS1000 to get your risk-free bet up to $1,000. So let's make that money. Let's do it right now. It is easy, legal, and live. So let's get this party started. They're ready. I'm ready. You're ready. And Bears fans, you guys played on Thursday night. So we're kicking things off this week with the Colts headed to Cleveland to take on the Cleveland Browns here. Indy is looking to win its 4th straight game, and the defense has given up just 14 points per game. That is fewest in the league, guys. How about the Browns here coming off an offensive explosion, putting up 49 in their win in Dallas last week? Andrew Filipponi, Colts are giving 1.5 points here. Which side do you like?
Yeah, it's absurd. I mean, you just touched on that great defensive stat from the Colts, Lisa, but it's totally misleading. It's more about who they played. You know, they went back-to-back, the Jets, and then Nick Foles' first start as Bears quarterback. That's why that defensive number is so impressive. I don't understand this one, Dave. I don't usually question John Sheeran, but I am just baffled by the line in this game. I think the wrong team is favored. I like the Browns to win. I like them to obviously cover the 1.5. I think they'll probably win by more than a touchdown in this game. I'm very much a believer in the Browns this weekend.
I question John Sheeran every single day. It's one of my favorite things to do, and I do it here as well. I think the Browns should be favored at home. Okay, they lost Nick Chubb. He's going to be out probably at least 6 weeks. But Kareem Hunt, what a signing that they now have this guy as that backup policy that they absolutely are going to benefit from. The high-flying Browns offense, I think, going to be too much for the Colts in this spot. Give me the Browns.
Yeah, Sheeran also has a wife and kids. He's used to getting questions, guys. Time now for the right take. And for this, let's get out to Chicago. Bring in our NFL expert here, Cole Wright, with Marquis Sports Network, formerly of NFL Network. And Cole, you heard the guys' picks here. Which team do you have winning, and by how many points in this matchup?
Well, gentlemen, you guys, you're thinking on the right page. I'm liking where your heads are at. This is defense versus offense in this one in every sense of the word. Both these teams are on 3-game hot streaks, and over the last 3, the Browns, they lead the league with close to 40 points. And Baker, he's been like a point guard. He's getting everyone involved in that Browns offense, top 5 scoring, rushing, and red zone. And then the Colts defense, well, they have been next level according to the numbers, but like Pony said, it's been the opposition. Over their last 3, they've allowed just under 10 points per game, but their red zone defense, that's been the question mark. They're 19th overall, so I'm going to lean Browns in this one. They're going to even up the all-time series 15-15. They get a 21-17 victory here.
All right, Colts fans, now you got to bet with your heart here. If you think your team can cover, it is a small line, 1.5. A winning $50 bet pays out more than $93. Again, it's the FanDuel Sportsbook app. Now to the Cowboys, who are hosting the Giants this week. Both teams struggling, but still in the race for the NFC East. The Cowboys have the 3rd highest scoring offense in the league. The Giants, of course, rank dead last, averaging just about 12 points per game. G-Men getting 9.5 here. Can they score enough to cover this line? Pony, what do you think?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I'm so disappointed in the Giants. I understand the Saquon Barkley injury, dealt them a huge blow, but in this league that is catered towards offenses, for them to only kick field goals the last 2 weeks, sure, I mean, they'll be better against the Cowboys defense, but I don't think good enough. Look at Dak Prescott, the offensive numbers he's put up the last 3 weeks, Dave. They're historic. I know the Cowboys will get to 30. I'm not convinced the Giants get to 20, and that's why I'll take Dallas laying a big number.
I think that they can. They've always historically done well on the road covering because they always get so many points. Being a bad team going on the road, they're 14-3 their last 17 games against the spread on the road. Daniel Jones has way better numbers, touchdown to interception ratio on the road than at home. And the Cowboys are not good enough to be laying 9.5 points against anybody in the NFL right now. So that is too big of a line for me. I'm going to go the other way. I'm going to take the Giants.
All right, guys, if you think the Giants can cover that number, go ahead and tail Dave. Place a $50 bet on New York. A winning wager pays out $96. And of course, we're just getting started here on our Week 5 breakdowns. In about 10 minutes, we're headed to the bright lights of prime time, getting our guys' picks for Sunday night and Monday night matchups. Both big spreads there in those games. We're going to get into those matchups in just about 10 minutes. Of course, the guy that sets all the lines here at the FanDuel Sportsbook, joining me right now, the odds maker himself, John Sheeran. Sheeran, you, of course, have a lot of exclusive information into this betting market. Want to tap into that right now. Are there any betting trends this week that have you rethinking a specific line, a spread that you're worried about the most as we approach kickoffs?
If I listen to experts like Pony and Dave Weaver, Lisa, I'd have to relook at that Colts line for sure in the Cleveland Browns. I mean, the Cleveland Browns win in Dallas against a defense that everybody knows is terrible, and now all of a sudden everyone's back in the Brown train. It's almost like Dave Weaver is buying members to his club at this stage. Pitiful, really. Anyway, we'll talk about this week, Lisa. The Steelers is one that I'm worried about. I think this is a really good spot for them. We feel like the Eagles were very lucky to win in San Francisco, much more down to Nick Mullen's bad play than rather what the Eagles put on the field. They had to travel to the West Coast now, back again. The Steelers have been sitting at home preparing for this game. They are 3-0 and obviously defending an unbeaten record, albeit against 3 weak teams. And we feel like this matchup is really good for Pittsburgh anyway. The offensive line for Philadelphia really banged up in San Francisco, so that'll be a good win for Pittsburgh. So that's one where we're juiced at -7, -115, and wary of laying too much on the Steelers. I think the other one is the Ravens. It's a big number now. It's actually ticked down from 13 on Lamar Jackson's missing practice yesterday. We fully expect him to play. I can see that line ticking back towards Baltimore. Expect Baltimore to be really strong on the ground in this game, like they were in Game 1 of this matchup last year, where Lamar went for 152 yards. People can talk about the Bengals being very, very different. The fact is they can't defend the run. We expect the Ravens to win pretty easily.
All right, Sharon, thank you. And yes, that Browns bandwagon has got a lot of seats in it. And Mr. Dave Weaver is driving that bus. We're moving over now to Dallas and our numbers guy, Ed Egros. Hey, let's get the analytics answer, Ed. What lines need to be exposed this week? Where are you taking us to make this money?
Well, Lisa, you are my sister from another mister, so I'm going to talk about the Chiefs against the Raiders. The total for this game is 56.5. And I think we need to appreciate Pat Mahomes in a different way. This season, his average depth of target per throw is only 6.9 yards. Not only does that rank 25th in football, that's the shallowest for any season of his pro career. But he is still accurate, as you would expect. 76% of his passes are catchable, but he's not beating teams by airing it out. He's keeping things largely in front of him. And you know who else does that? Derrick Carr. His average depth of target is 6.6 yards. That comes in 29th out of 33 qualifying quarterbacks, but he's also accurate, coming in second highest in on-target throws. Short throws can mean chewing up more clock. Both teams rank in the middle of the pack when it comes to situation-neutral pace, and it's a division game, which tends to be a little bit tighter, maybe more low scoring, so I'm going to take the under.
So am I. I'm going to tell you, Ed, I just think the Chiefs are bored right now. They know they're so much better than everybody else. They got up for the Baltimore game. Andy Reid went into his bag of tricks with throws to left tackles and underhand throws to fullbacks. They know they don't have to play a full 60 minutes to beat the Raiders, and I think that's going to keep this game under.
And you don't want to put too many things on tape. That's also important here. And another bet pony that I think has some good value here is Cincinnati getting 12.5 against the vaunted Baltimore Ravens. How has Joe Burrow looked through 4 weeks of his NFL career? Well, let's take a look at some of the more stable metrics for quarterbacks. Completion percentage from a clean pocket. Burrow is 14th best at 76.3%. Not a great line in front of him, but Burrow is mobile. He's 13th in rushing yards by a quarterback with 75 yards and a score. Completion percentage over expected is another stable metric. Burrow is 15th at 4.4. He's also 10th in intended air yards per throw at 8.8 yards. All of these numbers mean, compared with other quarterbacks, Burrow is average, which for a rookie is brilliant, but also, too, it means that the line is too big. I think the Ravens win this game by 11, so the Bengals cover.
I'm with you. I think John Sheeran's setting this line based on the past with Jeff Driscoll and no A.J. Green. Now the Bengals are healthy. They've got a Heisman-winning quarterback in Joe Burrow, and he just pencils in, Bengals at Ravens, going to be 12.5. This line should be more like 9. I'm going with you. I like the points.
Yeah, getting nearly 2 touchdowns here. Guys, thank you. You think Joe Burrow and these Bengals can cover this line? Then go ahead and make your bet. A $50 bet on the Bengals collects you more than $95. Remember, download the FanDuel Sportsbook app right now. Check out all the Week 5 lines. They're available for you to bet right now. Illinois, Indiana, Michigan, you're a part of this family, and we take care of our family and our friends. So this is a We've Got Your Back segment and a special fist bump for those of you that are new to sports betting. Welcome. We're excited to have you with us. So Dave, got to get you back in here. We've talked about spreads, total wagers as well. Now let's break those down, inform our bettors, and give them your best bet here in Week 5.
Yeah, just a real quick tutorial of what all these words mean that we've been talking about. So we'll start with the spread. This is the amount of points a team needs to win or lose by in a game. So we're going to go to the Saints. I think the Saints are going to cover the spread, which is 8.5 points in this game. So they need to win by 9 points or more for me to cash that bet, and I think they'll easily do that. I think they actually win this game by closer to 20 points. Now let's talk about a game. Say you don't think they could cover the spread, but you just think they're going to win. That's what the money line is. Money line means you're picking a team to win outright. Let's go to Pittsburgh. I think they can win the game. They may not cover, but they're going to win. But it's a little bit more expensive when you're betting the favorite. The money line on the Steelers is minus 335, meaning you need to bet $335 to win 100. If you happen to like Philly, then you're going to risk 100 to get back a profit of $270. But I think the Steelers win this game. Give me the money line. Now let's talk about the total. Total amount of points in the game from both teams. Let's go to Washington and the Rams. I don't think they're going to score more than 44.5 points, so I like the under. I think there's going to be under 44.5. I think the Rams win this game somewhere in the 27-10 range, so I'll take the under there, Lisa.
Awesome, Dave. Thank you so much. And there you go, Illinois, Indiana, and Michigan. Plenty of spread, money line, and total bets available on the FanDuel Sportsbook app right now. But also a ton of fun parlays, props, alternate lines available for those of you who have been at this for quite some time. We appreciate everybody at this party. It's the FanDuel Sportsbook app right now. All right, time now to talk daily fantasy and how you can turn just about $4 into $1 million. All you have to do is enter the FanDuel Sunday Million contest right now on FanDuel.com. Our job, of course, is to help you win that $1 million. So we're hooking you up with the best value plays for your lineup here. FanDuel Editor-in-Chief JJ Zacharyson in-house with his best values for Week 5. Hi, JJ.
One of my favorite values this week is Marquis Hollywood Brown of the Baltimore Ravens. Look, a big game for Hollywood Brown is coming. It's coming soon. He has a 26.5% target share on the season. He's top 7 in air yards across the league. I know this is a run-heavy team, but because of that high target share, he's still seeing decent volume. Now he gets a plus matchup this week. I like Brown at the $6,100 price tag, and hopefully this is the week that he finally blows up. I also like Mike Davis. It's hard not to love Mike Davis at $6,800. He's been a top 10 running back over the last 2 weeks without Christian McCaffrey. He's going to face an Atlanta defense this week that's been below average against running backs in terms of adjusted fantasy points against. There's a big over-under in this game too, so there should be a lot of scoring. So Davis, to me, is a really safe and good option. And then finally, there's Kareem Hunt. Look, there's no Nick Chubb in this game, and Kareem Hunt this season has scored double-digit fantasy points in every single outing with Nick Chubb. Now, without Nick Chubb, he should be the featured back in this offense. Given the fact that he's only $7,000, he's a big value here in Week 5.
And that, JJ, is the value we're looking for. Thank you. Make sure to use JJ's info for a shot at $1 million in the Sunday Million contest on FanDuel.com. Again, it's only about $4 to enter. There is a prize pool of about $2.5 million. So yes, get yours. It's FanDuel.com and the FanDuel app. And there's even more money to be had, y'all. The Sunday Million is just one of many daily fantasy games offered at FanDuel.com and on the FanDuel app. There are also a bunch of free DFS contests that you can enter right now. Just log on to FanDuel.com, download the FanDuel app, sign up for your chance to win cash and legit prizes for free with our daily contests available each and every week. Let's get back to sports betting now, and one of the coolest, most exclusive features on the FanDuel Sportsbook app is parlaying a bet in the same game. It's offered, we are the only sportsbook to offer it for these NFL games. It's called the Same Game Parlay. You can dramatically increase your payout on your bet, and the FanDuel Sportsbook is the only sportsbook offering this great feature for these NFL wagers. It's worth repeating, guys. This means bettors can combine multiple bets from one game. FanDuel is hooking it up, giving all customers one risk-free same-game parlay bet up to $10 each week of the season. It's right there on your screen. So let's get creative here, guys. Give me a same-game parlay bet that you're hammering that you like here in Week 5. Dave, what do you like?
I like the Saints, and this bet is going to be the Saints scoring a lot of points in this game. I need them to get over the 30.5, and then I need the Chargers not to score a lot because I think the Saints defense really starting to be fine-tuned by Sean Payton. So I think it's a 5-touchdown game for the Saints and maybe a 1 or 2 touchdown game for the Chargers. If those two things happen, I'm getting almost 2.5 to 1 on my money.
Yeah, my same game parlay is an ice cold exacta, Dave. It's your Falcons to go over. The game to go over for Atlanta to beat Carolina and cover the 2-point spread. Look, I think it's swung too far in the other direction. Everybody now thinks the Falcons are the worst team in football. Not the case. Very difficult schedule. Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson, the Cowboys offense. They will rebound. They're better offensively than Carolina. Points, total yards backs it up. And this parlay, I love it. Same game parlay for Atlanta.
I love Pony's delivery there. It sounded very parental. You know, for me, I love the LA Rams. I think they're due for some serious positive regression to the mean after a lackluster performance against the Giants. I know Washington has a great defensive line, but how do you beat a great defensive line? Play action, and the Rams are really good at that. So I think the Rams win by at least 14, and third quarter points total and going over 9.5. Payout is plus 304.
Yeah, Ed, Pony, very parental, getting ready for that baby on the way there in Pony. Awesome stuff by our guys. You can tail one of our guys, or hey, build your own same-game parlay in the FanDuel Sportsbook app right now. Take advantage of that risk-free $10 same-game parlay bet as well. Just click on the same-game parlay tab. Watch your odds dramatically increase as you pile up your wagers. Again, the FanDuel Sportsbook is the only sportsbook offering this great feature for these NFL games. Time now to talk prime time. I promised it. We deliver. We're starting with a Sunday night matchup, guys. Vikings at the Seattle Seahawks. Seattle giving 7 in this matchup, 57.5 on the total. It's the highest total of the week. Pony, what's your pick here in this matchup?
I like Minnesota. You know, Lisa, just like a great host like you can cover up for all our bad picks and mistakes, I think Russell Wilson has done that in large part for Seattle, where their defense is so wretched, it's so bad. I don't even think their offensive line is that good, but Wilson has just been incredible. And eventually, he's not going to be an MVP in every single game. And I think this is a trap game situation. Minnesota, now look at the stats you see for both Jefferson, the rookie wide receiver, and the running back Dalvin Cook. For those reasons, they're going to keep it close. Russell Wilson can't be perfect in every game.
All right, well, if you just compared me to Russell Wilson, I am actually going to clip this off and keep it and play it for my grandchildren, Pony. Thank you very much. Cole, coming to you now. Got to get you back in here for this. You heard Pony's pick, his comparison of me to Russell Wilson. If you want to do that, that's fine. But really what I'm looking for is who's going to win this game and by how many points.
Well, I'm not going to make any comparisons to you and Russell Wilson, but I will make a comparison between Russell Wilson and Bacon because he's like the football version of Bacon. He makes everything just that much better. And when you take a look at how he's fared versus the Minnesota Vikings, well, it's pretty good. 0-3 Mike Zimmer is versus Russell Wilson and the Seahawks, and Russ 5-0 in his career versus the Vikings. And Minnesota, despite the fact that they're riding high after getting that win over Houston, Wilson, he's going to be too much. He's 16 passing touchdowns. That leads the league. And his cast of characters, DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, Chris Carson, these guys, they've been balling in Seattle. Well, they've never started a season 5-0 in team history. I think you can pencil them in to do that this week. They're going to get the win here, 27-13, Lisa.
Yeah, go ahead and lay that touchdown. Thank you, Cole. Now to Monday night, guys. Chargers at the Saints. How about rookie quarterback Justin Herbert joined Cam Newton as the only quarterbacks to throw for 900 yards in their first 3 games since 1970. Herbert, the Chargers getting 8.5 points here in New Orleans. Dave, 8.5 on the road. Who do you like in this game?
I don't like the Chargers, and I think that big passing streak is going to come to an end because the Saints defense is going to be ready to play. If you go back to 2013, there's a pattern for the Saints. They're not that good early on in the season, the first 3 weeks. And then when it gets to October, they have it dialed in. 18-0 against the spread, their last 18 games, including last week when they covered against the Lions. The Chargers are not very good on Monday nights. Add it all up, and the Saints win big.
Ed, got to get you in here. Great numbers there by Dave. I know you love your numbers, too. Dave decided whether to tail or fade you earlier in the show. Now it's your turn to return the favor. Which side are you taking here?
I'm taking Dave's side here because I think the Saints can win this game handily, in part because I think the Chargers' rushing offense is absolutely abysmal. In non-garbage time, the Chargers' rush EPA is negative .317 with a success rate of 30.6%, both in the bottom 4 in football. Austin Eckler did leave Sunday's game early with a hamstring injury, but this ground game has stalled even with him. Saints have the 9th best rushing defense in terms of EPA at negative .131. And while the success rate ranks 18th at 43%, you don't have to worry about LA breaking free for big runs. Now you're expecting either a rookie quarterback who's not Joe Burrow or Tyrod Taylor returning from injury to keep up with Drew Brees and that offense. I've got a 12-point win for New Orleans.
Awesome stuff. Great job, Ed. Thank you. John Sharon, coming right back to you for your exclusive insight into this market, the hottest bets that you're taking right now at the FanDuel Sportsbook. Which teams are getting the most action here in Week 5?
I think Seattle are definitely one, Lisa. This Vikings-Seattle game looks exactly like the Dallas game against Seattle a couple of weeks ago with 69 points in it. The total's been bet up from 54 to 57.5, but all of the public money's coming for Seattle. About a ratio of 6-1 in favor of the Seahawks. We know these two are going to go up and down the field. I just, by a long way, trust the Seahawks offense a lot more. So that's a bit of a popular one that we're wary of. I think the other one is the Rams in Washington. That game is actually ticked down in the spread. That was 9.5 a couple of weeks ago, all the way down to 7.5 now. About a 9-1 ratio in favor of the Rams on that spread market. Only really seeing money for Los Angeles. We know Washington have a really good defensive front, but I think Ed made a good point. Play action could be the secret here for the Rams.
All right, Sharon, thank you. Great insight, as always. Appreciate it. Now to a couple of young quarterbacks who will likely be off the field this weekend. The Jets will be without Sam Darnold. The Broncos' Drew Lock is likely to miss his start here in Week 5 as well. Pro Football Doc David Chow has more on their injuries and when they'll be back on the field. Hi, Doc. Good morning.
Sam Darnold injured his right throwing shoulder in the Thursday night game when he was dumped on the shoulder. He went into the locker room and likely had a pain-killing injection from the team physician and was able to return and finish the game. His shoulder seemed strong, but his accuracy perhaps was a little bit off. He could play this week, but the Jets brass are likely trying to protect the young quarterback in terms of not being able to practice all week long and not forcing him to play through the pain. He'll be back shortly. Drew Lock should be back this week after a couple weeks off. The rotator cuff contusion and sprain likely affected his throwing strength and accuracy. Similar injury to Josh Allen, but Josh Allen has played through because it's his non-throwing shoulder. Drew Lock, after a week of limited practice and a few weeks off, should be good to go this week against the Patriots, assuming that there is a game.
All right, let's check back in with our NFL analyst, Cole Rideout. Give some underdogs a little love here, Cole. Of course, betting on an underdog to win outright is a great way to get a big payout here. So let's get some money line money makers, Cole. Who's on upset alert for you this week?
Well, Dave, I know you're not going to like this one, but yeah, I'm going to put the Falcons on upset alert. The Carolina Panthers are going to go on and get the win here. The Falcons, they haven't been great defensively. They've allowed 38, 40, and 30 points respectively in those 4 losses this year. And Mike Davis, well, he's ran the ball well. So 90-plus scrimmage yards in back-to-back games for that man right there. Plus Teddy Bridgewater, he's playing like he's back on the Minnesota Vikings. We know how he played back there. So Panthers, they get the upset win here, 24-14. And secondly, I'm going to go with the Miami Dolphins at San Francisco, going out there and getting the win. These guys are going to rally around Fitzmagic. Never mind the fact they only have 1 win. Forget about the fact they're bottom 3rd overall offensively. And who cares that San Francisco is a top 5 defensive unit? It's all about that Fitzmagic. Miami, they go on and get a win. It's going to be a close one, but 17-14, the Dolphins, I think they snatch that victory here.
Plus 340 on that money line. Awesome, Cole. Thank you. All right, gamblers, head to the FanDuel Sportsbook right now. Head to the app. Take a look at the odds for each matchup there. See if there's a money line bet that you like. Or, hey, tail Cole there. Remember, picking an underdog means plus money. Could be a great payout for you. Time now to turn this party up. Don't have a FanDuel Sportsbook account? Man, now is your moment. New users get an extra love, a risk-free bet up to $1,000. Just download the FanDuel Sportsbook app, sign up for a new account using the promo code Norways1000. If your first bet does not hit, it's all good. We've got your back. FanDuel will refund you up to $1,000 in site credit. So I say, guys, let's party here. Got to get my team back in here. Dave, Pony, Ed, you have up to $1,000 to place on a risk-free bet. So let's make our viewers some money. Or Pony, as you say, I'm looking out for number 1. Dave, I'm going to have you start us off. What you got?
Well, I'm going to go to the Cleveland Browns. My membership lapsed for a slight period there, but I re-upped my annual dues, Pony. I'm back in the Baker Mayfield fan club. I have my card around here somewhere. I can prove it. Give me the Browns all in. $1,000 gets me back just over $2,200 if they win.
Wow. Yeah, some things never change. I'm going to take a 2-gamer here, a parlay, 2 favorites, L.A. for many of the reasons we've heard the guys talk about so far today. I'm going to pair them actually with Houston to cover the spread. It sounds like the Texans couldn't wait to get rid of Bill O'Brien. I think they'll rally behind Romeo Crennel and take on a Jacksonville defense that gave up over 500 total yards last week.
A concurring opinion about the Cleveland Browns. 2 of the top 3 running backs and rushing yards over expected are Cleveland Browns. Yes, I know Nick Chubb isn't playing, but this offensive line is still amazing. I think the Browns win this game by more than a touchdown. $1,000 risk-free bet for this alternate spread scores me $3,500.
There you go. Gamblers, make sure to sign up for our FanDuel Sportsbook account right now to place those wagers. Tell our guys, it's all waiting for you at the FanDuel Sportsbook app. Use the promo code MOREWAYS1000 to get that risk-free $1,000 bet. It's easy. It is legal. It's so much fun. It is live right now. Take your winnings if you hit and just get your money back if you don't, because that is how we roll. All right, y'all, we are a quarter of the way through this season, 4 games down. Let's take a look at the Super Bowl odds here. Who is going to be the Super Bowl winner? I want to go around the horn, get everybody's quick pick here. Dave, I'm going to start with you. What you got?
I told John Sheeran before the season started, Chiefs should be right around plus 300, not plus 600. I still like them, but luckily I locked them in at a little bit of a better price.
You're so chalky, Dave. You're really going out on a limb there, buddy. Congratulations. Wow, that blew me away. I'm a value bettor, so I like where I see the Steelers there at 17-1 with a top 5 defense and Ben Roethlisberger, 7 touchdowns, 1 pick this year.
Seattle has the easiest road to the Super Bowl. I think the Seahawks can pull this off.
All right, there you go, guys. Thanks for hanging with us today. Awesome job by all of our analysts and our experts. And we appreciate you hanging with us here on More Ways to Win. Hey, enjoy the games here in Week 5 and good luck with your bets. We'll see you next week.
Time for new reading classes? Go to readers.com. Choose from hundreds of styles and colors for under $20. And now enter this exclusive TV coupon code at checkout to save up to 40%. That's readers.com.
Hey, neighbor, we got to talk. Jay? No, he only comes to Bugle on race days.
Race days?
With the TVG app, every day is race day. You can place bets right in your phone, even stream live races.
Top-notch runners facing off.
I can have a day at the track whenever I want, right at home.
Coming through, guys.
Go get him, Mike.
Mike Smith?
Yeah, Mike Smith.
There's a new home of horse racing, yours. Get a 50% bonus on your first deposit up to $250.
Yes. FanDuel Sportsbook makes it incredibly easy to get your winnings fast. But to make it even easier, we trained the world's fastest bird, a peregrine falcon, to deliver Will's payout straight to him.
I love you, Payout Falcon. Honey, I've come into some money. And I'm going to need a new sandwich.
FanDuel Sportsbook. Get your winnings in as little as 24 hours. Place your first bet risk-free and get up to $1,000 back if you don't win.
It's time you start grooming safely with Manscaped's Lawnmower 3.0. With skin-safe technology to help prevent manscaping accidents while grooming. Head to manscaped.com today. For a limited time, get free shipping, a free pair of Manscaped boxers, and a free Shed travel bag.
What's up, Broncos fans, and welcome to Week 5 of the NFL season. Thanks for hanging with us. You're watching More Ways to Win. I'm your host, Lisa Kerney, getting you ready for all the NFL action this week. And as always, I'm joined by our team of sports betting experts. These guys are here to help you make some money. So download the FanDuel Sportsbook app and place your bets with their advice throughout this show. Use the promo code MOREWAYS1000 to get your risk-free bet up to $1,000. So let's go ahead and make that money now. It's easy, legal, and live. Let's get this party started, guys. We're kicking things off with your Denver Broncos here, taking on the New England Patriots in Foxborough. Denver quarterback Brett Rippon made his first start last week against the Jets. Of course, led your Broncos to their first win of the season. On the other side, we have multiple Patriots that have, including quarterback Cam Newton, that have tested positive for the coronavirus. So full transparency here as we break this game down. Because of all the questions still swirling about this game, no line was listed on the FanDuel Sportsbook at the time we taped this show. But we wanted to still break it down for you because the matchup is what it is. And Pony, these Broncos are going on the road. We're going to focus on the money line for this one. Which team wins this game straight up? How do you break down this matchup?
Yeah, I'm going to take New England, even with some of the questions that obviously we can't answer right now given the timing of this show. I think what we can look at, though, is Brett Rippon, Dave, against the New England defense. And I just have no confidence in a green quarterback, an inexperienced quarterback, taking on a Bill Belichick defense on the road. We saw the way that Patrick Mahomes struggled to figure things out. It took him a while against New England's defense, and I think the same thing will be true in this game. It'll be low scoring, definitely for Denver, and I think eventually we'll see when a line gets posted, the Patriots should be a double-digit favorite.
Well, there are two things I know. Number one, the Patriots are very good against the Broncos. Their last 7 games, they've won 6 of those, and the only loss was a nail-biter in overtime. And another thing, coming off the loss, Coach Belichick has his team always ready to go. They got beat by the Chiefs last week, but they will bounce back with a win here. 12-3 following a loss for the Patriots the last 15 times. I think they win.
Great stuff, guys. We'll get more from you in just a minute, but right now it's time for the Right Take. And for this, let's get out to Chicago, bringing in our NFL expert, Cole Wright of Marquis Sports Network, formerly of the NFL Network. Cole, you heard the guys' picks. Which team do you have winning in this matchup?
Well, whether or not it's Rippin or Drew Lock, it doesn't really matter because you take a look at what this Denver team right now is able to do. They got a win last week. It was over the New York Jets, but after all, that was the New York Jets. The Broncos, they've averaged just under 21 points per game, and the Patriots, well, they've given up 23 per, so something's got to give in this one. Now, Melvin Gordon, he's been a top 10 running back all season, but New England, we know they have a run-first mentality. Last week, 185 rushing yards, and they lost. I don't see that one happening again. The Patriots, they really lean on the run game, and they shove it down Denver. 21-7 Patriots, and they cruise to victory in this one, Lisa.
All right, our guys taking the Patriots here. Hey, Broncos fans, though, if you bet with your heart and you with your guys on the road here, head to the FanDuel Sportsbook. The line for this game will be posted as soon as possible. You'll be able to place that bet before your guys kick off. And Broncos fans, we're going to keep it in the AFC West here and get to the Raiders and the Chiefs at Arrowhead Stadium here in Week 5. The Patriots made it tough early, but ultimately, guys, no one has been able to stop this Chiefs offense. KC is giving 13.5 points in this matchup. Dave Weaver, that is a very big number. Can the Chiefs cover that?
It's a big line, but it should be because since Patrick Mahomes has taken over as the Chiefs quarterback, he's played the Raiders 4 times, and he has beat them all 4 times. And the average score, if you add it all up, has been 36-14. So I think they will roll the Raiders in here. The Raiders are giving up 30 points a game. Chiefs are 10-4 against the spread the last 14 against the Raiders. So the bottom line is here, and we're going to say this almost every week, just too much offense for the Chiefs, for the Raiders to be able to keep up.
Well, it wasn't too much offense against New England in the first half, and I know that's a different ball of wax than what Las Vegas does on that side of the ball, Dave. But I'm sensing a trend here with Kansas City. We know the games they get up for. Baltimore, New England in the second half, they came through. This game reminds me on paper of the matchup the Chiefs had in Week 2 against the Chargers. I'm just concerned that it's going to take Kansas City too much time in this game to really get rolling. And with the number what it is, almost 2 touchdowns, I think there's a lot of value in Vegas to either keep it close the whole way or backdoor cover late. And that's why I think the Raiders are the best bet.
Yeah, on this line, it is big. But, guys, you're taking your bets. And Broncos fans, you can root against the Chiefs here and make some money. You can bet the Raiders and the points. Taylor, guys, place a winning $50 bet on Las Vegas. You're going to collect more than $95 on your bet. And, of course, we are just getting started on our Week 5 breakdowns here. In about 10 minutes, we're headed to the bright lights of prime time, getting our guys' picks on the Sunday night and Monday night matchups, both with big spreads right now. We're going to get into those matchups and break those games down for you. That is ahead in about 10 minutes. And of course, the guy that sets all the lines at the FanDuel Sportsbook, Mr. John Sheeran, joins us right now, the odds maker himself. Sheeran, you have a lot of exclusive insight into the lines and the betting market here. I want to tap into that right now. Are there any betting trends that this week that have you kind of rethinking a specific line, a spread that has you more worried about than any of the others?
I think there's a couple, Lisa. The first one is definitely the Eagles at Pittsburgh. I think there's a bit of an overreaction to the Eagles winning in San Francisco. They went in there last week. They were 8.5-point underdogs against the Nick Mullins 49ers team. They come back here and they come back against Pittsburgh, against a Pittsburgh team that have had a bye week, that are fully healthy and are a better matchup for them anyway. and it's only a touchdown. It doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. So we're juiced on the -7. We're -115 on that side, trying to attract money in on Philadelphia. That win in San Francisco for Philly was very much down to bad Nick Mullins' play rather than, the Eagles finally figuring things out. I don't think they're as bad as what they are perceived to be, but this looks a good spot for the Steelers for me. I think the other game that's really interesting that we're a little bit wary of, and an unusual one for us to be wary of, Lisa, with such a big number, is Baltimore. 12.5-point favourites currently. Obviously, Lamar Jackson missed practice during the week. We still think he'll be fine and will be good to go. But I just see this being an excellent matchup for Baltimore. Running the football, Cincinnati haven't been able to stop it. And then on the other side of the ball, the Baltimore defence will get a hell of a lot more pressure than a really weak pass rush from Jacksonville last week did on Joe Burrow. And I think this will be a proper test of what Joe Burrow has really done, albeit being impressive so far. So we're wary of laying the points here with Baltimore against Cincy as well.
Great insight, Sharon. We'll see you again in a little bit. Let's put some math to our money now. Get the analytics answer from our numbers guy, Ed Egeroth, joining us from Dallas. Ed, you come to the FanDuel Sportsbook app, found a couple lines you really like here. So let's make our viewers some money. Where do the numbers take us here in Week 5, Ed?
Lisa, one more time, I am injudiciously going to talk Cowboys, giving 9.5 to the Giants. Why is Dallas off to a rough start? A lot of people are talking about this defense, but I think there's a bigger reason. Right now, the Cowboys have the worst turnover differential in all of football at -7. The takeaways aren't there, but the giveaways certainly are. 3 interceptions and 6 fumbles. It's led to the third worst starting field position defensively at roughly their 34-yard line. But for context, the Giants aren't much better. -4 turnover differential for them with 5 picks by Daniel Jones. That's led to the 6th worst starting field position defensively around the 32-yard line. However, when you go by skill versus bad luck, it's actually the Cowboys who are due for more positive regression to the mean. And with that offense, Dallas can win by a couple of touchdowns. I think the Cowboys can cover the big spread.
I'm going to tell you on this one, Ed, the Cowboys' problem against the Browns was the ground game killed them. Over 300 rushing yards for Cleveland. That was, I think, a record performance against the Dallas defense. But we know the Giants can't run the ball. Ever since Saquon Barkley went out, Devontae Freeman, Wayne Gallman, Deion Lewis, I don't think they'll be able to run the ball effectively. And we know the Cowboys will score points. I am telling you, my friend.
Well, thank you very much. And Tony, another bet that I think has some good value, Cincinnati getting 12.5 against the vaunted Baltimore Ravens, the aforementioned game Sheeran talked about. How has Joe Burrow performed through his first 4 weeks as an NFL quarterback? Well, let's look at some of the more stable metrics for gunslingers. The first is completion percentage from a clean pocket. Burrow is 14th best at 76.3%. Not a great offensive line in front of him, but Burrow is mobile. He's 13th in rushing yards by a quarterback with 75 and a score. Completion percentage over expected, that's another stable metric. Burrow is 15th at 4.4. He's also 10th in intended air yards per throw at 8.8 yards. So what do all of these numbers mean? Well, Joe Burrow is an average quarterback compared with everyone else. And for a rookie, that's amazing. But also, too, it means that a 12.5-point spread is just way too big. I have the Ravens winning this game by 11, so the Bengals cover.
I'm going to tell you, too, here, because I think this line is a little bit stale. I think this is based on previous history of Bengals and Ravens. This is a new and improved Cincinnati Bengals team that is not getting respect from the line makers. I'm with you. I think they cover.
All right, yeah. Well, it's a big line, guys. Bengals getting nearly 2 touchdowns here. I think Joe Burrow and Cincy can cover. A winning $50 bet on the Bengals collects more than $95. And remember, download the FanDuel Sportsbook app to check out all the Week 5 lines available right now. And make sure to plug in that promo code. It's right there on your screen. More ways. 1,000. Colorado, you're a part of the fam. We take care of our family and our friends. So this is a We've Got Your Back segment here. A real fist bump for those of you that are new to sports betting. Welcome to the family. Welcome to the party. We appreciate you. Excited to have you with us. And Dave, I need you with me right now. We've talked about spreads. We've talked about money line bets. We talked about total wagers as well. Let's break those down now, inform our bettors, and give them your best bet for each here in Week 5.
Well, here's what it all means, and we'll start with the spread. That is the amount of points that a team needs to win by to cover that spread, or lose by if you're taking the underdog. Let's go to the Saints and the Chargers. The spread in this game is 8.5 points. So if you like the Saints like I do, they need to win by 9 or more for you to cash that ticket. Now, the money line does not involve a spread at all. You just simply need to win the game. Let's use the Pittsburgh Steelers as an example here. The spread in that is 7. It doesn't matter. You don't need to cover the 7 points on a money line bet. You just need to win by 1 or 50, and it's all the same. But when you're betting the favorite, there's some risk involved. You see that minus 335? That means you have to risk $335 to win 100 for the Steelers to win the game. And then finally, the total. That is the total number of points between the two teams combined at the end of the game. Let's go to the Rams and Washington. I like the under in this game. I think Washington is not going to score very many points, and the Rams are going to control things from the beginning. So the total points under 44.5. It could either be 44-0 or 22-21. Either way, I think this game goes under.
All right, Dave, thank you. There you go, Colorado. Plenty of spread, money line, and total bets available all for you on the FanDuel Sportsbook app. And also a ton of fun parlays, props, alternate lines for those of you who've been at this thing for a little while. Check it all out on the FanDuel Sportsbook app right now. Everybody is welcome to join in our party. Time now to talk daily fantasy and how you can turn just about $4 into $1 million. Yes, back up the truck and just enter the FanDuel Sunday Million contest on FanDuel.com and on the app right now. Of course, our job is to help you win that $1 million. So we're hooking you up with the best value plays for your lineup here in Week 5. FanDuel editor-in-chief JJ Zacharyson in-house with his best values for this week. Hi, JJ.
One of my favorite values this week is Marquis Hollywood Brown of the Baltimore Ravens. Look, a big game for Hollywood Brown is coming. It's coming soon. He has a 26.5% target share on the season. He's top 7 in air yards across the league. I know this is a run-heavy team, but because of that high target share, he's still seeing decent volume. Now he gets a plus matchup this week. I like Brown at the $6,100 price tag, and hopefully this is the week that he finally blows up. I also like Mike Davis. It's hard not to love Mike Davis at $6,800. He's been a top 10 running back over the last 2 weeks without Christian McCaffrey. He's going to face an Atlanta defense this week that's been below average against running backs in terms of adjusted fantasy points against. There's a big over-under in this game too, so there should be a lot of scoring. So Davis, to me, is a really safe and good option. And then finally, there's Kareem Hunt. Look, there's no Nick Chubb in this game, and Kareem Hunt this season has scored double-digit fantasy points in every single outing with Nick Chubb. Now, without Nick Chubb, he should be the featured back in this offense. Given the fact that he's only $7,000, he's a big value here in Week 5.
And that is the value that we're looking for here. JJ, thank you. And make sure to use JJ's info for a shot at winning $1 million in the Sunday Million contest right now on FanDuel.com. Again, it's only $4 to enter, and there's a prize pool of $2.5 million. It's FanDuel.com and on the FanDuel app. And there is plenty more money to be had. The Sunday Million is just one of many daily fantasy games offered at FanDuel.com and on the FanDuel app. There are also a bunch of free DFS contests you can enter right now. Just log on to FanDuel.com or on the app, sign up for your chance to win cash and really legit awesome prizes, guys, for free with our daily contests available each and every week. Let's get back to sports betting now. One of the coolest, most exclusive features on the FanDuel Sportsbook app is building a parlay bet of wagers offered for one single game. It's called the Same Game Parlay. You can dramatically increase your payout on your bet. And the FanDuel Sportsbook is the only sportsbook offering this great feature for NFL wagers. And guys, this means bettors can combine multiple bets from one game. FanDuel is hooking it up as well, giving all customers one risk-free same-game parlay bet up to $10 each and every week of the season. So let's get creative here. Let's get my team back in here. Give me a same-game parlay bet, guys, that you are hammering that you like for this week. Dave, you're first. What you got?
I've seen a lot of people putting 8, maybe even 10 different things into these same-game parlays. I'm going to keep mine to just 2, and I'm going to go to the Saints game against the Chargers. I think 2 things are going to happen. The Saints are going to score a lot of points, and the Chargers are not. So I need the Saints to score over 30.5 and the Chargers to score under 20.5. If those 2 things happen, I'm getting almost 2.5 to 1 on my money.
Well, fans of the show know that Dave has had an obsession with the Falcons all year. He picked them on that little cheat sheet to go 13-3 and go to the Super Bowl. And you're leaving the blackjack table at the absolute worst time. Dave, everybody knows you double your bet until you make money, and here was your chance. It's staring you right in the face. Take Atlanta -2. Same game parlay it with the over in this game because you know they score points, and you've got yourself a winner more than doubles your money at plus 264. Come on, Dave, don't be a coward. Bet the Falcons again.
You know who you guys should be talking about are the Los Angeles Rams. They are due for some serious positive regression to the mean after a lackluster performance against the Giants. They are facing a great Washington defensive line, but how do you beat a great defensive line? With play action. And the Rams are about as good as that, as good as play action as anybody in the National Football League. I think the Rams win by at least 14 points. And third quarter total points for the game, I have over 9.5. You put it all together, and the payout is plus 304.
There you go. Love those payouts, all that plus money. Awesome stuff, guys. You can tail one of our experts or, hey, build your own same game parlay in the FanDuel Sportsbook app right now. Take advantage of that risk-free $10 same game parlay bet. Just click on the game that you like and then hit the same game parlay tab. Watch your odds increase as you pile up your bets. Again, the FanDuel Sportsbook is the only sportsbook offering this great feature for these NFL games. So let's get ready for week 5 and get to it. And we're time now to get to prime time. And these bright lights, we're starting with the Sunday night matchup. Vikings at the Seahawks. Seattle giving 7, and the 57.5 point total is the highest one of the week. Pony, give me your pick.
I like Minnesota a lot in this game, and I think people have gotten this false sense of greatness because of what Russell Wilson has done in Seattle. It's quarterback excellence, but it's not team excellence. Seattle is so bad defensively. And look at these stats you see on the screen for Minnesota. They have found a number 2 wide receiver to go with Adam Thielen. Dalvin Cook scores at least 1 touchdown in every game. And Kirk Cousins rebounded last week against Houston. So I'm not here to tell you that Minnesota will win, but I think there are a lot of trends that point to them making this game close. Give me the Vikings plus 7.
All right, Cole, got to get you back in here for this. You heard Pony's pick. Which team do you have winning on Sunday night, and by how many points do you think?
Well, despite that factual information that Pony brought up, and despite the fact that the Vikings are feeling pretty good after a win over Houston, you know, you might as well just get Russell Wilson a skateboard, some cranberry juice, and a Fleetwood Mac CD because this guy absolutely thrives versus the Vikings. He's 5-0 in his career and 3-0 versus Mike Zimmer, and those 16 passing touchdowns. That's leading the league and trying to put himself in the history books. And DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, and Chris Carson, well, these guys have been a 3-man gang with the way they played the last few weeks. In Seattle, they've never began a season 5-0, so I can think that this team right here, that's what they're going to do on this week. They're going to get that win 27-13 over the Minnesota Vikings. Sorry about that, Kirk Cousins.
Cole, you're making friends up in the Pac Northwest. All right, we'll talk to Cole again in just a little bit. Let's get to the Monday night matchup here. Chargers at the Saints. How about rookie quarterback Justin Herbert? Joined Cam Newton as the only quarterbacks to throw for 900 yards in their first 3 games since 1970. Herbert and the Chargers getting 8.5 points in New Orleans, Dave. 8.5 on the road. Who do you like here in this spot?
I think it's going to be a tough go for him to continue that streak in his Monday night debut. I think there's just going to be too much pressure here on the Chargers to beat the Saints. And one thing we know, going back to the beginning of the season, back to 2013, the Saints always have a little bit of a feeling out period between getting their defensive players right the first 3 weeks. But when you turn to October, boom, look at the stat here. 18-0 against the spread, their last 18 games in this month of October, including last week where they covered against the Lions. Chargers are not good on Monday night. Add it all up, and it's an easy win for the Saints.
Those are some crazy numbers in those records right there. Ed, I know you also like numbers, so let's get right to it. Dave decided whether to tail or fade you earlier in the show. It is now your turn to return the favor. Which side are you taking here?
I'm taking the Saints here as well. I think Dave is absolutely right. You dig deeper into the numbers, and part of it is because they've been facing a lot of bad NFC South teams. And I think the Chargers are in a bad spot here as well. Rushing offense is brutal. Chargers rush EPA is negative .317, success rate of 30.6%, both in the bottom 4 in football. The Saints have the 9th best rushing defense in terms of EPA at negative 0.131. And while the success rate ranks 18th at 43%, you don't have to worry about the Chargers breaking free for some big runs. And now you're expecting either a rookie quarterback who's not Joe Burrow or Tyrod Taylor returning from injury to keep up with Drew Brees and that offense that can perform well even without Michael Thomas. I don't see it at all. I think it's a 12-point win for the Saints, so they're covering.
Awesome. Great stuff, guys. John Sharon, coming back to you for some more exclusive insight here. Let's talk about the hottest bets at the sportsbook right now. Which teams are taking the most action in Week 5?
I think without a doubt, Seattle, Lisa, they're 7-point favorites against the Vikings. The guys have already discussed the game. It looks very much like the Dallas game a couple of weeks ago to me, with 69 points in that game up and down the field. I just trust Russell Wilson and the Seattle offense to do a better job in executing than the Vikings. And it's not surprising to me all the money that we've seen for Seattle as a result of that. The other games, definitely the Rams. The Rams against the Washington football team as a 7.5-point favorite, down from 9.5 now. Lisa hasn't stopped all the public coming in on the Rams coming back to the East Coast for a 1 o'clock game. A 9-to-1 ratio there for LA. So they'll be the two we'll be dodging this weekend for sure.
Yeah, no doubt. Thanks, Sharon. Great insight as always. Now let's get to a couple of young quarterbacks who likely will not be on the field this weekend. The Jets will be without Sam Darnold. The Broncos, Drew Lock, also likely to miss his Week 5 start. Pro Football Doc David Chow has more on their injuries and when they'll likely be back on the field. Hi, Doc.
Sam Darnold injured his right throwing shoulder in the Thursday night game when he was dumped on the shoulder. He went into the locker room and likely had a pain-killing injection from the team physician and was able to return and finish the game. His shoulder seemed strong, but his accuracy perhaps was a little bit off. He could play this week, but the Jets brass are likely trying to protect the young quarterback in terms of not being able to practice all week long and not forcing him to play through the pain. He'll be back shortly. Drew Lock should be back this week after a couple weeks off. The rotator cuff contusion and sprain likely affected his throwing strength and accuracy. Similar injury to Josh Allen, but Josh Allen has played through because it's his non-throwing shoulder. Drew Lock, after a week of limited practice and a few weeks off, should be good to go this week against the Patriots, assuming that there is a game.
All right, thank you, Doc. Let's check back in with our NFL analyst, Cole, right now and give some underdogs some love here, Cole. Of course, betting on an underdog to win outright is a great way to get a big payout. So let's get some moneyline moneymakers, Cole. Who's on upset alert this week?
Well, I'm sure that Dave knows the Falcons. They've beaten the Panthers in 8 of the last 9 meetings, but I think all that goes down the drain on Sunday. The Falcons, they've allowed 38, 40, and 30 points in their last 4 losses. And Mike Davis, well, he's ran the rock well, 90-plus scrimmage yards in back-to-back games, plus Teddy Bridgewater. This guy, he's playing like back in the day in Minnesota. So Panthers, they get the upset here, 24-14. And my other upset, you can throw all the numbers out of the window because Miami, they're going on the road and they're going to take out the San Francisco 49ers. Forget the fact that the Dolphins are bottom third in all of offense. And never mind that San Francisco, they have a top 5 unit defensively because this Miami Dolphins team, they're going to rally around Fitzmagic. And this is going to be the game that people say, why hasn't Ryan Fitzpatrick been the starting quarterback his entire career? He's going to have another one of those games. The Dolphins, they get a win here. It's only a small victory, but victories, they all look the same. 17-14, they get the win over San Francisco.
All right, plus 340 on that money line as well. All right, gamblers, head to the FanDuel Sportsbook app. Take a look at the odds for each matchup here. See if there's a money line bet that you like. Remember, picking an underdog means plus money. All right, guys, let's turn this party up. Let's do this thing. Don't have a FanDuel Sportsbook account? Now is your moment. New users get a risk-free bet up to $1,000. Just download the FanDuel Sportsbook app, sign up for that new account using the promo code MOREWAYS1000. If your first bet doesn't hit, it's all good. We've got your back. FanDuel will refund you up to $1,000 in site credit. So let's party, Dave, Pony, and Ed. Got to get my guys back in here. You have up to $1,000 to place on a risk-free bet. Let's make our viewers some money here. Dave, you first.
Well, sometimes you have to leave the blackjack table too early to go upstairs and go to the safe and come back down and bet it all On the Cleveland Browns. That's right. I did ditch them a little bit early this year, but I'm back. Give me all my $1,000 on Baker Mayfield and the Browns to win outright. $1,000 gets me back over $2,200.
Can we just take a second to evaluate Dave here, guys? He reminds me of somebody who breaks up with his girlfriend and then immediately starts texting his ex-girlfriend again to go on dates with her. Falcons out, Browns in like 2019. So predictable. I'm going to go with L.A. for all the reasons the guys have talked about. And my risk-free bet, $1,000 on L.A. to cover against Washington. I'm going to put him with Houston now that Bill O'Brien's out, doesn't want to fight J.J. Watt. They'll beat a bad Jacksonville defense and cover. That's my same-game parlay, plus 264.
Two kinds of people in this world. You block and erase those old phone numbers, or you keep them around just in case. And it's a good thing Dave did, because I also believe in the Cleveland Browns. I'm going with an alternate spread here. Baker Mayfield, EPA CPOE composite. He is a top 5 quarterback in the National Football League so far this season. Browns win by at least a touchdown. $1,000 risk-free bet, $3,500.
Dave, do you have a rebuttal? Just dance with all the girls at the dance. It's fine. All right, Dave is out. Hey, gamblers, make sure to sign up for a FanDuel Sportsbook account right now. Place your bets. Just tail any one of our guys or put your own down. Remember, use that promo code MOREWAYS1000 to get your risk-free bet up to $1,000. It's easy, it's legal, it's live. Take your winnings if you hit and just get your money right back if you don't. That is how we roll here at FanDuel. And hey, thanks for hanging with us today, watching FanDuel Sportsbook's More Ways to Win. That'll do it for us. Take our experts' tips, make yourself some cash. Download the FanDuel Sportsbook now. It's free, easy, legal, live, all that good stuff. Use that promo code right there on your screen. More Ways 1000. Enjoy kickoffs this weekend. Good luck with your bets, and we'll see you right back here next week.
Manscaped's Lawnmower 3.0 with advanced skin-safe technology.
Wow.
It's time! Get the official electric trimmer of the UFC at manscaped.com.
Are you over 50? Would you like to get up to 33% more income in retirement? Then call now for this free book, Annuity Do's and Don'ts for Baby Boomers, from a leading financial firm on maximizing your income in retirement. That's right, free. This free book reveals little-known secrets about annuity strategies in simple-to-understand terms that will help you make the right choices before buying an annuity. And it's free. Call right now for your free book, and as a bonus, we'll also throw in a free annuity rate report. We researched over 1,200 annuities and summarized the rates and benefits of annuities from financially strong insurers. Again, that's Annuity Do's and Don'ts for Baby Boomers and a free annuity rate report, both absolutely free, for calling Annuity General today. Supplies are limited. Call now.
Call 800-736-5802. That's 800-736-5802.
TVG Friday. Turf Stakes action featuring fillies and mares in the Grade 3 Buffalo Trace, Franklin County from Keeneland. Gate-to-wire coverage brought to you by WinStar Farm. Watch and wager Friday, 5 Eastern, 2 Pacific.